Hello everyone and welcome to State of the Realm, well, who knows how many weeks we'll be doing this, because we got a long wait until the next patch. We'll be talking about that here on the show in a little bit. This week we're going to be going over live letter number 58, our patch 5.3 preview part 1, and discussing the little bit of information that we get from the part 1s as we normally do. I'm one of your hosts, Mr. Happy. Of course, joining me is Sly, who's so thirsty he's drinking beer right now. How you doing, Sly?
You're really just gonna bring that up, huh?
I didn't, there's no context. That's for the chat. Everyone who's watching on YouTube later, they're just like, what do you mean he's so thirsty?
Well, you're not wrong.
Okay, glad to know.
Both ways. Both ways.
There you go. How you doing, Sly?
I'm doing awesome. I'm doing just great.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. You could talk about how awesome it is after we introduce our other host. He just keeps showing up and we let him come here. It's Ethys. He's just like, yeah, I'm here. I'm good.
Wait, are you sure we didn't ask him?
I said you are more than welcome to join us. And he's like, am I there? And I'm like, you're more than welcome to join. He's like, all right, I'm there. What's going on, Ethys? You're always welcome, Ethys. It's just rare we have you on the show like 3 or 4 times in succession if it's not, right, lore related. But you're the, let's be honest, you are the semi-official third host anyway.
Yeah, see, you said that. You just introduced me as host, and I was like, wait.
I meant to say guest, but to be fair, it's kind of bullshit at this point, just because you're
old. Freudian slip.
Yeah, it's a Freudian slip. You might as well be at this point. Like, you are the most consistent guest on the show. Like, if I show up to a hot dog stand every day, I own that hot dog stand.
Yeah, right? Legally, that's how it works. Yeah, that's true. Like, on the 4th consecutive day that you're approaching that hot dog stand, you just get the what do you call you wouldn't call him a chef, would you? What would you call them?
Fuck it, I'll call him the chef. It's my hot dog stand. Chef. I'll call him whatever I want.
Just starts throwing hot dogs at you because he knows that legally, as soon as you come within 5 feet of that hot dog stand, it's legally yours at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Makes perfect sense.
Okay, so this is my hot dog stand now. Welcome everyone to Ethys' hot dog stand. That's the name of the show from now on. And I hope you
can I get one with onions, chili, and mustard, please? Actually, make it 2.
Yeah, you can't only order 1 hot dog.
Yeah. So I've discontinued my first act as the hot dog chef. Is that I've discontinued American mustard. We only serve Dijon. Okay,
that's fine.
This is turning into like a ritzy hot dog stand here. All right.
I love Ritz crackers. Perfect.
Okay. All right. Good. Yeah, I think I can do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, hi everyone. What's going on? This is a what is this? What are we doing today? Why am I
live letter 58?
Of course, live letter 58. That's
a lot of live letters.
Wow. That is a lot of live letters.
Cherish it, because it'll be a while before 59.
Yeah, look, you say that, but we got a lot more out of this live letter than we normally do, I think. Like, there's a lot more to chew on here than we normally get.
It was a lot to chew on, but it was, for the most part, concise. It was straight to the point. Yeah. It was straight to the point, concise. They normally, you do get the fluff in the second part, as you usually do. But still, in terms of everything of substance, it was pretty straight to the point. It was short and sweet, honestly, in my opinion.
It was, because I didn't actually have to watch the second half of this one for random details. That was very nice. It was just entertainment for the second half, which was much more
short and sweet, unlike Ethys' hot dogs at the Ethys hot dog stand. They're long and spicy. All right?
Oh.
I just want to make sure that I'm getting my brand out there now.
Yeah.
All right.
Gotta get them plugs in, right?
It's opening weekend, all right? It's important. There were some serious curveballs, though. Like, I don't think I've been so surprised by a live letter in a long time.
I feel like I said that about the live letter prior. Before we get into the details, though, we do have our sponsors to shout out. You guys were that eager to jump in. I didn't even get to do the sponsor shout out. Of course, Steel Series with our 12% discount code and our monthly giveaways. They've been sponsoring my channel and the show for a while now. So enter, because it's free stuff. And why wouldn't you want free stuff? You always want free stuff. Get free stuff. check it in the comments or the description of the YouTube video in particular for the giveaway entries, as well as the 12% discount code. Also, thank you to our patrons. Their names are scrolling in the top right. The updated list should be scrolling there because there's a few more names, but we'll give them a more detailed shout out later in the show. Yeah, I was gonna say, you might have been pointing the right way. No, you got it. Yeah, you got it the second time.
I got it.
Yeah, for me, it's this way. It's the opposite. So just do this, and you can't ever be wrong. Yeah, sounds good to me.
Sorry,
yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Good.
Cover your bases.
Solidarity.
All right, so live letter number 58 started exactly the way we anticipated it starting.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a bit somber, but yeah, we kind of figured it was going there. It was somber, but at the same time, we did get something to kind of like a little bit of light in this through the letter that was read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for those of you who didn't get to watch the live letter number 58, the most obvious topic had to be brought up: how Final Fantasy XIV is currently being affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, especially since Japan has entered a state of emergency in the last several weeks. So it's obviously impacting them more. They've had to move to working from home offices and uploading to the server remotely and still trying to keep everything secure. Living conditions versus working conditions at home, with homes not being really designed for that in Japan, and trying to receive things like voice work or graphical assets from third-party studios or external sources like they have in the past. All challenges that they faced and detailed in the intro, and they detailed them in very detailed fashion, I suppose.
Yeah, I was surprised by this, and I really admire the transparency. I mean, that's what the live letter is all about. That's why it's been such an effective PR vehicle. But there really are moments when I guess you see behind the curtains a little bit, and you really understand how transparent and how real they're being, and that it's not just bullshit. And I really appreciate that. They didn't need to go into so much detail about all this stuff, but it was really sort of reassuring, I think.
Yeah, definitely agreed. I feel like some people will feel entitled to this information, quote unquote. It's like, yes, we know everything that's going on, but why is so-and-so? And they kind of covered their bases, which they really did not have to. 9 out of 10, most of us know what's going on behind the scenes. We kind of get the gist of development. We've known for quite some time, following the trends and patterns that we've seen. We've been kind of made privy to that information through those trends and patterns. So we really didn't need to know, but that amount of transparency, like you said, was definitely refreshing to have.
Yeah, and to even have that degree, they kicked it in a high gear to get everything working the way that they did, because they said that they've basically had to make a systemic change to their entire business practice in a 2-week time frame, and that they're back up to, what was the percentage they gave efficiency wise? I think they said 70% efficiency.
70%, yeah.
It was something around there, because I got it mixed up, because they said they had 70% of development done.
Patch done.
Yeah, and then but I think their efficiency was different. It might have been it was 60 or 80 or something along those lines. But yeah, they said they got back up to a relatively high level of efficiency very quickly, and that there's only a few remaining things that really trouble them. One of them being the length of time it takes to upload information to the server, and to actually do things like QA testing. How are they going to get 24 people together in an efficient manner to test something like the new 24 man, and details like that. But to be honest, to be frank, I would have expected them to be at 40% efficiency.
I'm trying to find where they actually said the number. Yeah, they said that about 70% of the patch had been finished before the state of emergency.
Yeah.
It said current delay about a month. Can't say how much it will impact further patches and development at this point. So, I mean, unfortunately, we can expect it to affect patches further down the road. But you got to imagine that they can like mitigate that time in such a way that like a month now will hopefully only be a couple of weeks for 5.4 and so on, as they kind of put these systems in place that let people work from home. And I think one of the really interesting things we're going to see out of all of this, as I'm sure many of us have been experiencing, is that it's forcing employers to set up the means for people to work from home and work from home offices, which is something that's like almost unheard of in Japan. But it means that, God forbid if something like this happens again down the track, they're going to be prepared. They're going to have those systems in place. And ultimately that's a really good thing for the game and the game's infrastructure. So
yeah, another big takeaway for me, oh man, I lost my train of thought there with that cough. I had a whole point that I was ready to go off on, and
you just coughed it out.
Coughed once, and I coughed it out of my brain.
Yeah, you see, that's why you should be wearing a mask, because it keeps the
Oh yeah, that's totally that's totally disposable mask. That's a great use.
But
it prevents.
I remember you saying one thing about like how it was taking maybe 4 hours to about 20 hours.
4 to 20 hours to upload information to the server.
Upload information. So they have the means to do it, but in terms of like connections and everything and internet, like you would think that they would set those up, like set their employees up with those means at home, but
even if they do in 2 weeks, it's like it's unrealistic to, I guess, have it something like that. And also, I'm not too privy to home connections and the status of those in Japan in regards to internet infrastructure. I know nothing about it. So,
if they're as bad as Australia, then the difference of like 20 minutes in an internal network to 20 hours is believable. It's got to be better than Australia, though.
I can tell you the hotels are worse in regard than American hotels in regards to internet availability, because I've been in a couple of them and they were both awful. And in the last few years, all my American hotels, unless they were like run down, I just really needed to get to this place for cheap places, have generally been okay. Hell, even one of the places I stay for PAX East now has what they call the PAX free package for their internet, where it's like 30 upload for the individuals, so they can stream from the hotel rooms. It's pretty crazy. I was really surprised to see that.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Smart.
Yeah, and it was free with the ticket because it was a PAX book ticket. So, fun little thing. But yeah, I don't know how it is over there. I remember the point. So we mentioned the 1 month delay that they had confirmed. We had actually had that confirmed via Lodestone post prior to the live letter number 58. The live letter has said they've already added at least a week or two onto that expectation on top of it, and they're still monitoring the circumstances. So we are looking at closer to a 5 or 6 week delay for patch 5.3. That's a big wait. I mean, I don't mind it, like it's inevitable, but that's a hefty one. I don't know how that makes you guys feel. I'm just thinking about how many shows I can do.
You and me both.
Well, I think it's a double-edged sword for us, right? Because we hang our hat on 14, for our jobs, and on one hand, it's like, oh crap, we need to invent like a month's worth of content, but on the other hand, it's kind of nice being able to take things like a little bit slower and get through the backlog and play some other stuff. So I'm not too worried.
Hey, PSO2 PC is at the end of May.
Yeah.
Don't fucking remind me, man.
Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition's in May. That new Gears of War Tactics game is actually pretty sweet. The XCOM one that just came out, that looks really good.
Yeah, we were talking about that pre-show.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't hear it because I was
strategy
on the phone.
Games.
Yeah,
I'm pumped for both of them. It's a really, really good week for strategy games.
Yeah, see, look at that. I got all sorts of things coming up. So it looks like we'll just be filling backlog. Hey, it means more TVGs. Did that 7 remake spoiler cast this last weekend. Just means there'll probably be more of those in the
Hell
coming
yeah,
months.
dude.
Plus, Sly knows I have a backup plan for at least 4 episodes of State of the Realm.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we do.
So we'll have
Gives
to
me time to
start.
get through the waifu wars too. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, your waifu wars never end, buddy.
They never do. You're again not wrong. Not wrong.
I know I'm not, or I wouldn't say it.
Can I get that on a T-shirt, please? The waifu wars never end.
As long as you have a bunch of non-copyrighted waifus to place on the shirt alongside them.
Or fan art. Yeah, fan art will work too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so that was, really good. I'd also like to applaud them for communicating it in English on the live letter itself as well, which is something they seldom do, but in a situation like this was very apt for Foxconn to translate Yoshida and also express some of his own feelings and thoughts. A lot of people forget that he is their global manager, their global community manager. A lot of people are always surprised whenever he speaks English. He's spoken English. They missed the best English that he's ever spoken when he was sick for the Stormblood Media Tour, and he was like, "I'm back."
Yes. I am healer now.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember when
No.
I remember that.
I think
was awesome.
I May was like, you sound like Christian Bale's Batman, and he's like, "I'm Batman."
No, it was half that and half like Genji from Overwatch. A little bit of Genji. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, so a lot of people always surprised, but we definitely appreciate the added effort. At 4 a.m, just being able to hear him speak is definitely a blessing. Sometimes, as much as we appreciate the unofficial translations that come out from various sources, Reddit being the one that I use most often, sometimes I just want to know what's happening, like ASAP, without having to wait for the text to pop up on the screen or be fixed later or anything like that. Ugh. But that was like the first 15-20 minutes. They caught us all up, gave us idea of the delay, and then they hopped into what is our normal live letter shenanigans, and we're smiling already.
I'm just so excited to get into it.
What? Well, I mean, what about it? Because for the most part,
I'm scrolling down.
It was fairly
Bro,
standard.
that patch artwork. All right, reflections in crystal.
So many
Man.
implications.
Yeah, the revelation about Crystal Tower being required now. How are they going to handle that? Because I got the impression,
I can
right,
tell
is that this isn't about 5.3. This is about the ARRR, right?
Yes.
And that presumably it's going to be like, all right, before you can do patch 2.1, you need to have done the first chapter. And so on and so forth. It'll be something like that, right?
Right.
It's not like you'll get up to 5.2 and be like, all right, now you need to go do Crystal Tower.
That is correct.
So I'm interested in how they'll handle it for people, I guess like the handful of people that have done 5.2 but still haven't done Crystal Tower.
They just say you won't be able to continue. You'll literally log in and it'll be like...
but I mean, like, is Graha going to have assumed that you had the dialogue with him in 5.0? Because it's going to be like a little bit jarring, right? Is that for those people, it will have gone from them not having had that sort of familiarity with him to suddenly having it.
No, it'll just be the time bubble. It'll be as if you did it back when it was relevant in 2.1, 2.3, 2.5.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, it's obvious why they're making Crystal Tower compulsory, but I can't help but feel like there is something about the timing, and there is something that's going to be really important. 5.3 about this Graha and
The source is Graha.
the source is Graha.
Reflections. As soon as I heard the word reflections and I saw Graha, I was like...
So I haven't quite, it's crazy. Like the last handful of times I've been on the show, we've been seriously getting the tinfoil hats on, and I can't help it.
Tinfoil tent. We're camping in a tinfoil tent.
I'm living under the tinfoil tent now. All right. So let me just put this out there, and you guys can tell me if you're smelling what I'm stepping in. All right. So Graha tier has the power to basically connect soul with crystal, right? We can't find a way to let the scions do that. What if he is used like as the medium? So rather than putting the scion souls in crystal, we put them in him, and we transmit them from this Graha to the source's Graha.
I'm down.
But what are the consequences of that?
He's dead.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
I mean, not necessarily, right?
Nah, he's dead. Fuck it.
You think so?
He's dead.
I mean, it's the same implications as like what we thought would kill him to begin with.
Right. But that's the thing, right? Is if he thinks that whatever method he's planning on doing is going to kill him, then it would be much easier for him just to, jump off a bridge or something, because he knows that would work. I'm just saying, like, Orion J established that.
I wouldn't even be surprised if Orion J already knows.
Like, it caught me off guard a little bit because it sounded so fucking harsh. Jesus.
Well, I'm just saying. So why would he be coming out with a plan, like some elaborate plan that he knows is going to kill him? If all he has to do is just
he been
top
trying
himself.
to do that like from the get-go?
Yeah, but we could just put a gun to his head and pull the trigger if that's
right.
If that's
because
what
we know that would work. Yeah. So he's not going to go through some elaborate plan and be like, "Oh, by the way, this is going to kill me," because then the whole plan is redundant except for the killing him part.
Maybe he doesn't know for certain. How does he know? He's never died to reverse this magic. He doesn't actually know.
Yeah.
He just assumes that it would reverse the magic. He operated under the assumption his death would do it. He also operated under the assumption as soon as he fixed the timelines, he'd cease to exist.
I think it'd be an awesome plot point. Like if he does end up sacking himself, for sure. But I don't think that it's like self-evident at the moment. But I just got so excited for the title and for that artwork. It's so good.
I like the chat saying, I wonder if the sources, we just find a means to teach the sources Graha the same magic. How long it took the Crystal Exarch to figure out how to do this?
Yeah, like 100 years.
It took him 100 years, yeah. I don't think we have that kind of time on the source.
And he still hasn't worked it out.
Yeah, he's still a little off, still a little iffy. He got it real good when he really needed it for Hades. He's like, yeah, I'll just do 7 at once, easy. I'm not even anywhere near the Crystal Tower, but I nailed it this time.
We're never gonna have an explanation for that.
Nope, he's just, dude, it was the power of friendship. That is the explanation.
That's true. It was the power of friendship.
It's
the power of God in anime.
I'm kind of just happy that it's him in the patch artwork. Because
as opposed to whom?
I like Xenos or Zodiark. I think I want Exarch to get his limelight right now.
Honestly, I don't think that gets resolved until
get his limelight right now.
Yeah.
Well, because he's gonna die.
He's had the limelight the whole freaking time.
No. We've had it as the Warrior of Darkness. Emmett Cell, Warrior of Darkness.
The whole Xeno thing won't get resolved till like 0.4, 0.5.
I have no idea what's even still gonna, because I feel like that's supposed to resolve sooner and it's not going to.
Look, in 5.3, I'm reading it here. In 5.3, the Shadowbringers story will conclude.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with Xenos is
what it doesn't say. What it doesn't say.
Dreams.
Yeah. That's fair. But what it doesn't say is in 5.3, the Stormblood story will conclude.
I see what you did there.
So
it said that in 4.
Take from that what you will.
Xenos just never dies. That's it.
Look, for me, having it conclude in 5.3, it means that we're going to be getting post-credit scenes which unfold for us what's going to be happening over the next 10 years in Final Fantasy XIV. And I am so excited for that. You have no idea. Because Shadowbringers ending, that means something else is beginning. And Shadowbringers is the conclusion, as we've been being told since since the media tour. Shadowbringers is wrapping up the Ascians, it's wrapping up the Garleans. We're going to be going on to a completely new story arc. Like 1.0 to the end of Shadowbringers is season 1, and we're moving on to season 2.
I'm ready for Maricidia.
Yeah, Maricidia, New World.
I mean, always been to.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places we haven't been, or we've seldom been to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for it too, which is why I really wish I could fast forward time. I want to be summoned.
What if they actually do?
There's a lot of things they could still do. We've got.
I mean, it like to me, if they wrap this story up, they wrap up the Ascians, they wrap up Garlemald, the war of succession, the new war of succession. It would damn near take another fucking calamity to move the story along.
Not, dude. Here's what's gonna happen. Edda's gonna go defeat the Lich King and open up a portal to the void, and we'll get.
I mean, that's basically like it's pretty close to what Palace of the Dead actually is.
Yeah, I mean, you're not entirely wrong. That's pretty much.
We don't get a new calamity. We get an old calamity. We get the first calamity. We get whatever that thing was that fucked up the planet and required the summoning of Zodiac. Whatever you want to call it, Lavos, Jenova. It's that kind of entity. And,
dude, it's straight up Lavos is the only thing that comes to mind when he says that.
It's basically Lavos. Yeah, that's basically what it is. But you know, the presence under Silvertear Lake is probably one and the same thing. We're gonna be like hitching onto that and seeing where that leads us.
Yeah, and I think it's very important to distinguish. There's a difference between the Zodiac Hydaelyn plot being done and them no longer being relevant to future plots. There's a big difference between the two. We could defeat all the Ascians and still have this entire thing that caused the sundering, the source point of the sundering in the first place. That could be, you know, some more information about that could exist in Marasidia, in the New World, and literally the half of the planet that we haven't been to yet, which is truthfully, we've only been to we haven't even been to all the places we have access to now. And if we have, we've been to them in like instances at times.
We're gonna need a bigger fucking cloth map.
Yeah, I mean, we still only got the Eorzea cloth map, don't we?
Yeah, that's it.
Do we not really have one that reaches out to Author?
Nope.
No.
Need that Elsebard map, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we don't even have like an updated 3 continents map to show the parts of Othard that were covered in fog now that we've been to and have seen, like in the Return to Ivalice map. But look, one way or another, 5.3 at the end of it, we're gonna have some idea where we're going next. And that is amazing.
Yeah, too bad the only image we got of it, other than the artwork, was this like bang bus of Ascians that's like just waiting for you right here. That's the only other image that they gave us.
Excuse me. Would you like to reevaluate your choice of metaphor there?
I had to fucking mute.
It was funny because when I was watching the translation, I was like, oh shit, a bunch of Ascians. That was the first comment I read in my Twitch chat.
Was it the first comment you read or the first thing that you thought of?
No, the first comment that I read. Like, literally, I was like, oh, shit, just a bunch of Ascians. What's with the filters? And I looked at my Twitch chat during the translation. I was like, God fucking Christ.
How many of them are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 12 of them that we can see there.
Yeah, gee, I wonder. That's sure is an interesting count considering we know where the third...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13.
Yeah, because you're looking at the one in the back on the right, the fourth on the right. He's just kind of like creeping around his shoulder right there.
Hey guys.
Yeah. Gee, 13. What an inconspicuous number that surely has no bearing on what these entities are or represent.
Surely not.
No way. What's with the filter though? It's not even like a proper echo filter. It's like
it's weird.
It's like a dark echo filter, evil echo.
It's so like staticky.
Yeah, more staticky than our echo normally is, which it seems to me like an echo.
It might. You got to remember, Y'shtola is still in anamnesis, so it might be some more of the recording that she's managed to retrieve.
Yeah, although she's looking at it on the shittiest screen.
Well, it's been like corrupted or whatever, I guess. It's deteriorated in quality.
Yep.
Well, we got a new dungeon here, the Hero's Gauntlets.
This
Any
thing
thoughts
is,
on that?
Yeah, because I see three things that make me go question mark, and question mark. There's the fact that it looks like it's in Lakeland, the fact that it's clearly Fey magic bringing about the dudes, and that there's a soul meteor that represents the
star shower.
The star shower in the top left.
Oh, look at that! Look at that cheeky little.
You didn't see that, did you?
No, I didn't see. Well, okay, look, I'm looking at it on my phone screen. All right.
Yeah, that's pretty
okay.
rough.
You see this?
Yeah, turn it sideways. It might help. No, not what is that? Who says? Let me look at my phone online and does this. You turn it like
turn it sideways. I thought you meant like my phone sideways so I can like see past the cracks.
Like this landscape.
Oh.
So yeah, maybe you could see it better.
Turn it sideways.
Okay. Hold on. I've got a really good idea, guys. I'm gonna turn my whole phone sideways 90 degrees, and then the image will rotate, and it's bigger.
Oh my god!
Yes,
and you know what? Now that I've had that idea, I can see that it is in fact a little shooting star.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I am like the next time someone asks me to turn my phone sideways, I am going to do just that.
Yeah. Well, no, I have to do that sometimes when I'm like reading it so I can see past the, you know what?
The glare on the screen?
No, not the glare, the cracks. My screen's all smashed.
Yeah, that probably doesn't help the visibility.
No, not so much.
No.
But look, this is definitely in Lakeland, and as you say, like pixie magic.
And the star shower. I think Heroes Gauntlet's a little too literal because we just made a bunch of heroes were just made, and I don't think it's a gauntlet for us. I think it's a gauntlet full of heroes.
Now, when you say literal, do you mean the heroes part or the gauntlet part?
The hero,
because I don't light that just got.
Yeah, we kind of just witnessed the birthing of a shit ton of warriors of light or people who have heard Heidelin's call. Thanks to Ellentill, and they've gone out into the world and gotten in all. And
we're gonna have to find our way through them.
Yeah, I think Ellentill has turned them against us at this point here.
Right. See, I needed you to clarify there because I thought you meant it like a literal gauntlet.
Not like a glove. Not like not like that. Not like that kind of glove. No. We've literally just witnessed the birthing of so many heroes. This is Ellentill plan as a dungeon, essentially.
Yeah.
That's how I interpret it. I just don't know why there's Fey magic in the Lakeland, unless the Warriors of Light out there are actually so inexperienced and dumb as fuck that they've somehow caused some way worse shit to happen. I think it's all an illusion, to be honest, but...
I mean, the alternative is that Titania's on our side, right?
Oh yeah, we got with the sapling, we got the Fae. They're backing us up as we fuck up Ellentill, young down.
Yeah.
Hey yo. Titania.
Yeah. Oh, the rap. Oh my god. Ayo. Titania. Thank you, Yoshi P.
Thank you.
You don't remember this? For the anniversary stream back in December, they were doing like fun little games with each other, and one of them was like a wheel they had to spin or something, and Yoshi P spun the wheel and landed on rap about Final Fantasy 14, and that's all he did. He literally all he said was ayo, Titania. That's all he could do.
Should have gotten Koji in there.
And then he said ayo like 6 more times. That's
it. Get Koji in there to explain to him what a rap is.
I don't think it was a matter of him not knowing. I think it was a matter of, you hear rappers sometimes on stage like, yo, check it out. Like they say like random shit while they're like finishing.
It's just filler.
Yeah, it's filler to like formula. He forgot to stop the filler. The filler never filled anything. It was just.
You guys know Flight of the Conchords?
Yes.
Can you just remind me of that? What's the line? They call me the hip hoppopotamus. My lyrics are bottomless. And then it just stops for like 10 beats.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah. Yeah. Symbolic. Symbolic. There you go. I mean, it's a dungeon at the end of the day. Only one, as we know. Only one now. They did actually confirm in some of the interviews that came out just before this that they actually compiled and posted them officially to the Lodestone. that they are done with that kind of hard mode moniker for dungeons at this point. That they acknowledge that's not something they plan on doing. They just want to make original dungeons at this point.
How do we feel about that?
Mixed. I mean,
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay because I don't want more dungeons. You know, Sly. Like,
I get that.
I want more lore, but I don't necessarily need the vessel that is the dungeon.
There's no place that you want to go back to.
I was always interested in seeing why they were sending us back. Most of the time it was pretty bullshit. Sometimes it was interesting. And that was about it. It was more so just to be like, well, so how are they doing it different? Like, yeah, like we've had great scenes pop up like Wanderer's Palace hard mode with the Tonberry stabbing the final boss. You know, that was fun. You know, we had Ferdiad set up, you know, as a character prior to the Maki storyline. They've done things like that. Edda, obviously, probably being the prime example of the use of a hard mode dungeon with Tamtara. They've done it great, but after A Realm Reborn, the hard mode moniker got less and less interesting. We've had some cool ones like Fractal, but I got I did get less interested in them outside of the occasional like interesting one, like Pharos. Didn't care. Yeah, that's a good example. I'd say honestly, Saint Mosion's hard mode, like,
I get that.
Yeah.
So here's where I'm coming from. In the pre-show, we were talking about how like you're redoing ARR.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning of Ul'dah, you've gone to the Silver Bazaar. And they're talking about how things are going to change, and they don't, obviously, because it's one instance, because it's a time bubble, right? The cool thing about hard mode dungeons is that we go through and we see stuff that's happening, and again, we're kind of like given some indication that like, you know, something's going to change or something's going to progress there. And then we actually get to like see what that is and see what happens there. And I really like that. I really like look forward to hard modes when we get them. But they're better when we explore like different parts of the dungeon, you know, like we go down rather than up or whatever.
Well, with Pharos, we certainly went down rather than up.
Yeah.
That one was really underwhelming in particular.
Yeah. I think new original dungeons is probably better, but I think I'll miss the idea of being able to revisit some of these places.
I still kind of want them to just add lore to existing places, and then the ability. A great example, as much as I harp on the Nier series, I really did enjoy the post 24-man part where we go back through and we pick up pieces of lore and we have the compendium. I like that, and I kind of wish they'd add almost like collectibles to the older ones that represent either lore about the place or lore that's happened since, and just kind of make them kind of similar field areas that aren't really dungeons all the way. The full-on compendiums. I would like that as a reason to go back, explore, see how things have evolved, but less so like a fully functioning dungeon. Like a great place would be the city of Mach.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I think that was the strongest part of the first Nier chapter, and I immediately was like, I want this for every single instance, like in the game, working backwards forever.
Yeah.
So, well, I get that.
Yeah, I would take that. I could take that without the need for a dungeon. Like, don't rework how I get around it, how I explore it. Just add lore, add a lore compendium, a lore collectible compendium kind of thing to old instances. And then just throw like text tidbits in there. I feel like the toughest thing is probably like balancing how that works on the server side of things. Because it has to be, it probably has to be designed like a field area. And I feel like with Nier, they designed it that way deliberately, knowing that they were going to do that, and all those old ones they didn't. So that would probably be the biggest technical struggle of the bunch.
But yeah, that's fair.
I'd like it. I don't need more dungeons. I don't give a fuck. I've said it a million times before. I don't care about losing the dungeon. And obviously we knew we were losing hard modes unless something was relevant. Maybe there'd be a story in an old place that's relevant to new stuff and they would do it. But other than that, I didn't, so whatever. For me, at least.
Well, we can still have new dungeons in like the same areas and just not called hard mode, called something different.
The other lost city of Vandapur.
Yeah. Sure.
That one instead Definitely. Of this one. It's like what?
I mean, that'd be wild. That made me sit up.
What? Who said there had to only be one?
I mean, maybe the Amdapori were like Alexander, right? And they just named every city Amdapor.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised. They weren't, honestly, all three of those nations weren't very bright with the way that whole thing turned out, you know? They were smart, but they weren't bright. There's a big difference. We did get confirmation of our third beast tribe, the dwarves, officially now. We can call them beast tribe. Hey, listen, I'm a Lalafell. If anyone should be making that face, it's me. I'm fucked for all eternity now.
I'm not making the face for that. I'm making the face for it being a crafting beast tribe. Because I'm pretty sure that the Ishgardi and Elazin are our crafting beast tribe.
I mean, we knew that we were going to be getting a crafting beast. Like, this isn't new information. We know that.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, but I don't know how I feel about it.
We got a lot of crafting and gathering stuff this expansion.
Oh yeah.
Even with mixed results, we had a diadem, ocean fishing, Ishgard restoration, crafting and gathering reworks, a gathering beast tribe, a crafting beast tribe. It's been a thing. And of course, Ishgard's going to come up a little bit later here. All we get is a scene with a mechanical frog and a dwarf buddy. That's it. They didn't tell us anything else.
Yep.
They're in the Crystarium for some reason. That's all we got. I'm just man. I got 2 out of 3 of the predictions. At least I feel good knowing that dwarf was the third one, because the second one I was still convinced. What was the original second one? Because they named the fairy's the Numo. The Numo is the one that they named. When they were talking about it pre-expansion release, and we ended up getting the Kikern. I still wonder if they had intended that the whole time, or if they at some point intended to do the Numo, or if they just really wanted to surprise us with the Kitari.
Well, I mean, the Numo, like from the bottom up, they were one of the Fae races.
Yeah.
And the Pixie Beast tribe, like, it does kind of expand to include all of the Fae folk.
Yeah.
So I think they probably intended it from the beginning.
The artwork for 5.2 had a Numo standing next to a crafter, though.
That's true. That's true. And I think Yoshida said it at some point recently that they were planning on doing the Kikan in Stormblood.
Yes, and then they did the Namazu instead.
Mm-hmm. And that's why the Ziggurat there is pretty much just
chilling.
Just chilling. Like, the only thing it's really relevant to is Red Mage.
One day we'll explore the Ziggurat more. I was just thinking about that the other day.
So.
I don't know why, because I don't usually think. But, you know.
No, I hope so. Because, between that and the arc, Neon Kretzen's arc, up there in Ablathia's spine, they were like the 2 most salient kind of standout features of the geography of Stormblood, just about. And they just
exist.
Yeah.
They do nothing but exist. Unfortunately.
But again, we know that 5.3 Stormblood doesn't conclude. Stormblood still continues.
Ethys, I'm gonna need you to. You're out of control. I'm gonna need you to get into control.
Stormblood never finished. We just took a detour to go and fuck around in another dimension, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly can't say you're not correct.
Yeah.
Have you seen our trial? Have you seen our trial series? Like,
I want to.
Yeah, dude.
Our trial series is literally a Stormblood trial series. It's nothing to do with Shadowbringers whatsoever.
Well, speaking of which, we've got a blue Ultima weapon. Isn't it crazy how much this one looks like so much more like Ultima than Ruby weapon did?
Well, that looks like Sid made it. That looks like an Ironworks one.
Yeah, definitely.
Those are the Ironworks colors. Also, it looks kind of more like the boss from Fractal. Doesn't look like as girthy as Ultima Weapon. It looks like Ultima Warrior or whatever his name was, kind of. But it looks like Ironworks colors. I'm betting it's a giant robot battle against Sapphire Weapon. That's what I'm banking on.
Oh, fuck. So you think that's not Sapphire Weapon we're looking at there? You reckon that's oh shit.
Prototype?
I think that's Sid trying to make a giant robot to fight the giant robots.
I really hope that it's Nero that made that, if that's the case, and not Sid.
They got an Ironwork skin from a loot box. That's just a Fortnite loot box for the Ironwork skins.
It really does look like an Ultimate Weapon loot box skin, actually.
Yeah, if we don't control it, I suspect at the very least it's going to aid us in the fight against Sapphire Weapon, because Sapphire got fucking relegated. Like, let's be real here. They said there's going to be a solo instance. It's Sapphire. Sapphire is the solo instance. Come on.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. You're going to get some kaiju battles up in this bitch.
You know, looking at that screenshot, like, the Warrior Darkness and Sid are just kind of like chilling there looking at it.
Yeah.
So I think that, yeah, we would be mistaken to just assume that that's Sapphire Weapon we're looking at there.
Yeah. It'd be funny if it was, because A, it looks nothing like Sapphire Weapon, unlike Ruby Weapon, who is at least very recognizable, and two, it'd just be funny if they gave so little fucks about them, like, just reskin Ultima. Don't fucking, who cares? It's Sapphire Weapon. He gets blasted by a cannon anyway. It'd be even more hilarious if that was the case. Yeah, but I think giant robot battle. In all honesty, I'm nailing it down. Giant robot battle.
Okay, so like a roleplay quest, except we're role playing as
a giant robot.
A giant robot.
A giant Ultima weapon.
And or Nero.
Yeah.
Oh crap! Can we have Sid and Nero like both in the cockpit, like Pacific Rim style?
Yeah. And we'll ride on its back.
Hell yeah.
Sly, you should be the most into this. This is really your territory right now.
It is, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Why? Why don't you think that's going to... So do you think that's Ruby, or do you think that's an Ironworks Ultima Warrior looking thing?
I think it's a prototype of something. It's nothing. It's nothing we know. It's not...
Sid knows.
Sapphire. Yeah, Sid knows. But it's a prototype. It's not like a hardcore, like, this is Sapphire, this is so-and-so. No. Like, it's a prototype of something. I just don't think it's Sapphire.
Can I be the one to say that if it is an Ironworks Ultima, Sid needs to calm his fucking tits, because your future Ironworks made an Ironworks Alexander, and you now 200 years before that, where he's potentially built an Ironworks Ultima of some kind. He needs to fucking chill, all right? Because you can't be this far ahead of the curve already, all right?
I don't know. Like, I think this is far less sophisticated than, you know, the Ironworks Omega Alexander. What would you call it? Fusion, I guess.
I almost want to see
big robot.
I almost want to see like little OMG appear in these. I really want Alpha and OMG back. I really do.
Just off in the distance, just watching.
Yeah, I mean, still, when we go back to the source and go to new areas, I do hope that we find them again, just like walking around in new places in the source. I still hold that hope close to my heart. But man, I'm just saying, Sid giant robot fighting Sapphire Weapon with giant robot. I'm holding true. I'm hoping, and I don't even care about giant robot battles, but I just want to see Sid make a fucking Ironworks Ultima, right?
I can get on board for that.
Good. That's it. Ethys said it's confirmed. That means now it's no longer theory. It's not tinfoil.
That's how that works.
No tinfoil tent. Done. Then we got our new trial, of course. Circle, 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 and circle, 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 extreme.
Haven't we had that trial before?
Yeah, we've had circle, 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 and circle, 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 extreme before. That's really hard to say that many fucking times.
It's disappointing they just keep recycling content like this.
Oh, well, we get to that a little bit later. Yeah, that's our main scenario trial. That's why it's a secret. They've done this before. Yes. It's no surprise whatsoever.
Right.
Well, you say that, but he said that, like, no one's going to be able to guess what it is.
So we're killing Crystal Exarch. Got it. It's Crystal Exarch and Crystal Exarch Extreme.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so he says it will be the final battle, the Shadowbringers story, but I think it's not going to be easy to predict the boss. Bullshit.
I mean, here's the thing. If you could only predict one thing, it's tough. Because there's like 3 or 4 things that you would directly think it could be. So, put on your tinfoil hats, get in your tinfoil tent. Who do you think it is? What do you think it is? Sly? No, Sly goes first, because Sly's over there, like, he's making faces, and I gotta get to him first. Come on. Oh, you can't decide, can you?
It's... Ellentill would be the low-hanging fruit.
It is, indeed. I think he survives this patch.
No.
I think he does.
No. But...
Oh, yeah. Chat had a good one. I agree with Chat.
What, Hildebrand?
No, Ellentill, but his real name. So there's no way, because we don't know who the fuck he actually is. Of course we couldn't predict
because Ellentill, like, because all the other Ascians were named after Espers. Ellentill is the only one who doesn't have an Esper name.
Zodiark is the only thing he's affiliated with. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too. That was one of my thoughts. So Ellentill is Zodiark, I guess. Other than that, I have no clue.
I agree that having it be Ellentill is the low-hanging fruit. I think Mike could be correct about this. So we know that the Ascians will have to die because they're tempered by Zodiark and they can't be swayed from their course. We've already established, from our 5.2 spoiler cast, if you haven't seen that, that there's a very good chance that the Ellentill we know is not tempered, that he was promoted to the position after the summoning of Zodiark, and that he might be the one person that can be steered from his course one way or another. And I think that as like, that would be a prerequisite to him like surviving and us being able to move on to another antagonist without destroying him. So I find that compelling. I want the final boss to be Zenodiark.
I would like that too. Yo, are you ready for the fucking curveball? It's somehow like Vana. Ready for the fucking curveball?
I would hate that.
I would too.
I wouldn't be terribly surprised, but I would hate that.
I see Vana more of a test. Like a trial, yes, but a test for the Warrior of Light. Like for us.
Yeah.
I don't see him as an enemy.
I think we might end up coming to the conclusion that in order to destroy Zodiark, we need to destroy Hydaelyn as well. Because they were, I mean, she was created to be, an opposing balancing force. And if we take out Zodiark, then, things can go like way out of whack.
Wouldn't every shard theoretically be able to just fall into a flood of light if that happened with literally nothing else to oppose it?
Well, there's nothing to prevent it. That's the thing. Is that like the Ascians have always kind of operated to make sure that like the light and the darkness don't get too strong. Whereas if there's no one to like perform that function, then it's not that like when Zodiark stops existing, darkness and astral stops existing. It's just that there's no kind of people controlling the opposition of those forces. And also, like, Hydaelyn was created to keep Zodiark in check. If Zodiark is destroyed, Hydaelyn's existence is meaningless, and she's completely redundant. So, like, from that argument, I could see, like, okay, maybe we have to destroy both of them, and they could have the curveball of that being, the final encounter.
Oh, what, like the last boss of Super Smash Brothers? The latest one?
I see it being like a triple threat match between us and Hydaelyn and Zodiark at the same time.
But I don't think Hydaelyn would fight us.
Hydaelyn would sooner just be like, yeah, I'm done. See ya.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought. No, I still think that Xenos is being baited on the assumption that he can do to Zodiark what he did to Shinryu. And I still think that is going to basically go ass up for him, because there's no way that he has a stronger will than Zodiac, and that Zodiac is going to be able to like use him to wake up, achieve some kind of ascension, some kind of agency, and it will be like a Zodiac Prime situation that we end up fighting. That's what I want. But when Yoshida says it's not going to be easy to guess, I'm suddenly like, well,
then nothing we say matters.
Shit. Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
But what if we're right? He said not easy. He didn't say
somebody
impossible.
has to be right out there.
Somebody has to be right. Yeah. It'll be the Great Serpent of Ronka. Yeah. That'll be
Scree.
That'll be the final boss of the expansion. We'll find out the Great Serpent are actually shards of Zodiac, and they've come together now that we've unveiled them under the Kikern ruins, the Kitari ruins. Sorry. There you go. I believe it. Seems reasonable to think it that way. What was really funny about this, and it actually kind of becomes relevant later in this live letter, is they were reading comments from the Japanese stream about people saying, well, obviously it's Cape Westwind.
And trying to work out what the hell Cape Westwind actually was.
Yeah. So they... Again, this will actually become a little bit more relevant of a factor when we get later in the live letter. But it was pretty funny to see them just like talking about, Cape Westwind. And the funny thing is they actually said that they like thought of it at some point. They were like, we thought of we thought of doing something with Rataten at some point, but we didn't think anyone cared. Now they know. It's like Edda. They made that Edda side story, right? Because they were like, we didn't know people had this fascination with Edda. I guess we'll just do that now. They know people have a fascination with Cape Westwind. That's it.
I mean, the Raktiga theme got lyrics because we made a meme out of Lahi.
There you go. I believe it.
So
it all lines up, honestly.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm looking ahead to the next thing that happened in the live letter and just kind of like
sighing.
Meh.
So the next thing they talked about was the next installment of the Nier raid. Disappointingly, was not an amusement park or a carnival of any kind. So I'm assuming the Dwarven quest has to deal with the Dwarven quest that the dwarf we talked to is referring to a carnival we will be doing as part of their crafting quest, which would be eerily similar to the Namazu thing. So I kind of hope it isn't. Or the Namazus, we made the whole big event to stave off their, eventual genocide.
Yeah.
And I don't want the dwarves to just be making a carnival again, to be honest. I really don't.
I don't think it is going to be that simple. I think it is going to tie back into Yorha here somewhere, somehow. So for those of you that have played Nier Automata, Nier Tomato.
I was hoping you were going to correct yourself.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I misspoke there. For those of you that have been close to the tomato, you will of course recognize the bunker has crashed.
The puppet's bunker.
That happens in one of the endings, I believe, which kind of feeds into. Again, we need to be clear here. Yoko Taro has said that like what's happening in 14 here is canon for Nier Automata, for that like timeline, I guess, that like ending alternative timeline. It's not a two-way street. It does not. I mean, as is clear from like the trailer of the interview that we saw with Yoko Taro, it doesn't work both ways. Just feel like
it
I need
comes
to.
out tomorrow, doesn't it? Oh no, it's actually out. It's out already because it's already the 30th in Japan, right? Or does it come out tomorrow?
Yeah. No, I
haven't watched it.
Yeah, it's been the 30th in Japan for several hours, so it should be up on YouTube now. So for those of you watching on YouTube, if you haven't seen that, do check that out because I'm sure it's very interesting. The puppets bunker. Do we have any strong feelings about that?
My only strong feeling is just don't make this as lame as the first one, please. That's all I ask.
Was the first one really lame for you though?
Yeah, it was. Here's the thing. I play the most fan service heavy MMO in existence. And I still can recognize when fan service is done well or poorly. Omega is an example of poorly done fan service. The first Nier 24 man, off to that same start, doesn't have to be that way the whole time. Omega at least ended well as a not super fan servicey thing. It starts the ending a little fan servicey, and then it kind of eases its way into finding its bearings to its very end. Don't fuck this up and just make it be like literally only relevant if you give a fuck about Nier and have no bearing on any of 14's lore or world or impact, which I'm very concerned it will.
But there has to be a bit of fan service.
No, fan service is fine.
Of course.
You can do fan service well, and I want them to do it well. The first one was not representative of that. It was blind. Hey, people want butts. Fan service. Literally the pinnacle of the first one. So much so we had to watch Yoshi P do this to explain how their programming was fucked up for like 10 minutes when designing the ass.
But Yokotaro is also a very fan servicey kind of developer.
Yes.
Right.
This isn't his game. This is his story that he's writing, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. But I mean, again, so is Yoshida. He just has a way of like tying it together. So okay, so here's the position I'm in. Some of you guys might remember way back in Heaven's Ward when we were having discussions about the first chapter of Alexander.
Yes.
And you two were not happy, and I was the one saying like, I have faith it's going to come together,
and it did.
Right. And it did. Yeah. So I think I've got to be consistent to that right now, because I feel like the first chapter of Nier is kind of similar to the first chapter of Alexander in some ways, where it's just like there's nothing really to grab onto. It hasn't really gone anywhere at the moment. There's just kind of throwing some stuff out there and we have no idea where it's going to land. I feel like I need to be consistent and I need to give him the benefit of the doubt and say like, yeah, I do think this is going to tie in and it's going to be great. It's going to be epic. I don't know if we're going to see it in this next part, if we're going to have to wait for the finale, but I'm going to try to be optimistic about it.
Well, I'm going to be consistent in saying that shit will still fall through the cracks somehow, some way.
Okay.
From here to the end. Especially at the end. Shit is definitely going to fall through the cracks.
But isn't that like the whole theme of Nier as a franchise, is shit falling through the cracks?
That's why he thinks it. Not as a whole franchise, but like... Yeah, he saw that and he's like, yeah, you haven't played Drakengard, have you? That's just not how I would
falling through the cracks.
That's not how I would describe it. I wouldn't describe it as shit falling through the cracks. I would describe it as, Chad has said, lots of red herrings that either that make you think one thing that end up either not being relevant or at least not being relevant in the way you perceive them at first. But I feel like
it's cursed with red herrings. You look at the dragon in Copied Factory, right? Like that wasn't even an intended red herring.
Yeah, that was really fucking funny. I had forgotten about that. For those of you who are wondering what we're talking about, there was occasionally a dragon that could show up in the Nier 24 man when it first released. And I don't remember the exact conditions upon seeing it or like what would cause it or what like...
It was one of the Dark Knight quests being like active and not finished.
Yeah, and it was just a dragon would show up, and it was like the name of the dragon was like the same color scheme as the dragon from Drakengard or something.
And it even had like random dialogue that people could make an argument for being like Drakengard relevant. And if it was deliberate, then it definitely would have been like considered an Easter egg. So yeah, I think Yokotaro is just cursed with red herrings. Even when he's not intending them, they just fall out of his pockets. Yeah. Like, oh whoops, red dragon. My bad.
It's pretty freaking funny how that ended up. Of all the things that could have happened, I'm not 100% not convinced that wasn't on purpose.
Yeah.
Yokotaro just like spoke to one of the developers. Yo, just find a way. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Just throw a red dragon in there. So throw a red dragon in the code somehow. I don't care how, but get it in there. Now we just need flying babies.
I'm looking forward to this next part, but I'm not excited about it. It's probably like the least hype of 5.3 for me.
Same.
But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to try and approach it with an open mind.
I have an open mind, but I have low hopes at the same time.
That's fair.
Because you equate it more to Alexander, I equate it more to Omega. Because Omega didn't start particular. It starts with a lot of ideas, and then we've realized we're just in the tournament of power, and it's like, oh. So nothing matters here. Literally, Omega's just like, you're strong. I want to learn how to be. I need to learn from your strength. If you don't, I'll kill all of your friends and loved ones and every living being. And I'm like, well, that's precedent to participate, I suppose, but I'm not particularly interested in my precedent.
At least we got a lot of Allagan lore with Omega.
Yeah.
If we get Allagan lore
on the first,
if we get Allagan lore with Yorha, if they find a way to connect Yorha to Alec, I quit. I'm done.
Allegans.
No.
Little did you know that the Puppet's bunker was actually the Dalamud of the first, and the Allegans had traveled across and captured Neo Bahamut and launched him into space to use him as a power source to travel interdimensionally between the two Dalamuds. They were actually portals between dimensions, and we shattered one. And when we shattered ours here, the one on the first shattered as well.
Listen, if Yorha, if all of these plot points and everything are from another shard, then please make it one of the other shards that's already been erased. All right, because I'm done. I don't want to go there. All right, this is enough.
See, the problem is chat's telling me to stop because they know I'm right, and I'm just spoiling it for everybody.
Are you though?
Yeah, obviously. When am I ever wrong? Don't answer that. We have too many. I was gonna say we have too many Aerosibias.
Stop me right there.
Yeah. We have too many Aerosibias for me to make that statement.
Oh boy,
I can't wait. If I'm right, holy shit, I would actually be upset.
Me too.
Yeah, Emmett Selk, he spent all his time on the first, but he also made the Allagan Empire. It only makes sense.
Shut up, dude.
Stop.
See, now the problem is it's getting too real.
Get out of my hot dog stand. Is there anything else we want to say about Nier?
Nah,
I hope it's. I just hope it's better than the first one. It'll still be fan servicey. Obviously, it doesn't mean it can't be interesting. Don't be Omega. Yeah. Just don't be Omega. That's all I'm asking. Okay? Do something for world building. Okay, they very briefly touched on the fact there would be PvE and PvP adjustments. They wouldn't tell us what they were, but I can't imagine them being that major anyway. They've kind of like
the game.
They've kind of nailed out most of the most major things people have said, especially with Ninja and I guess for the most part Red Mage, other than just personal preference, because I personally am not a huge fan of Red Mage. Ranged physical, some people could argue for. There's like little things about jobs like Warrior, Dark Knight that people would like to see adjusted, but like I don't see any like large scale PvE adjustments.
Right.
I don't know.
No, I'm trying to think if there's like a wish list that we could have, even if we're talking about stuff that is not necessary. If there's stuff that we would like to be adjusted.
Well, I have stuff I'd like to be adjusted.
Adjustments for the adjustments. That's a problem. That's always a problem. You have to have adjustments for the adjustments. Nothing like we always speak of balance, but there will never be balance because somebody's always going to be unhappy.
Well, balance is a conversation. Yeah, that's right. No, balance. The thing about balance and balancing.
He can't hear you, so I don't. Yeah, he can't hear you right now, so there's no point in continuing this train of thought.
You're right.
No, the only one I want is improv. I just want improv to give 10 Esprit regardless of how many people are near you. Because right now you only get 10 Esprit if all 8 party members are in range of it. So if you have less than 8 party members in something like 4-man content, you don't get 10 Esprit. That's just annoying. Fuck it. It's stupid. I hate it. Make it useful in everything. Now would you like to continue your train of thought for Sly now that I've bought time?
I can't even remember. Oh yeah, so balancing, right? Like balancing's not a static thing. Balancing isn't like, all right, we introduce a patch where we balance things and things are balanced and it's done. It's always like a dialogue, right?
It evolves, yeah.
Yeah. It's something you got to keep tinkering with, you know, patch after patch, year after year, and that's just how it is.
Well, when we get Beastmaster as a limited job, they can balance it all they want. What do you give me that look for?
No, I mean,
no, Sly. Look at him.
Yeah, I know, but like you're on the money. You know, we've got a lot of talk about Beastmaster in Bozja at the moment. We're going to be fighting some Beastmasters pretty soon.
Yeah, and we know they said they'd like to make it a limited job at the North American Fan Fest last time. So all the pieces are there. Wake up. Sly.
I give up hope on the rest of this fucking show.
Would you rather it not be a limited job? Would you rather like Beastmaster be a full job?
No, I mean, as a realist, yeah, I know it's going to be a limited job. Like I've kind of like come to terms with that, and I made my peace with Jesus, everything.
But you know what that means, right? You know that means that we get a mini game where we get to go all around the realm collecting beasts, kind of like with the Blue Mage spells. I think that would be
then we can
awesome.
play Lords of Verminion with them.
Yeah. See, it's when he says shit like this.
Yeah, you just like really burst my bubble there, dude.
It just shoots the whole idea fucking down. Like I'm okay with it until he says shit like that. Yeah.
We'll get Pokemon. We'll get turn-based. We'll get turn-based battles. With 4 moves.
No. You look. You came. You queued up for your hot dog, right?
Shiny.
You've been queuing for your hot dog for like an hour, right? And you finally got up there ready to be served, and you just pulled your pants down and pissed all over my hot dog stand, all right? Okay?
Only if you give me the hot dog first, though. I wait till after I get the hot dog. I'm not gonna not get the hot dog first.
No, you're not an animal, of course.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm gonna pay for the hot dog, not in urine. He said piss on the hot dog stand. I needed to imply that he would at least receive monetary compensation for his hard work, as well as the implied urine that he's saying that I will unleash upon his hot dog stand.
All right, I think we can move on from PD adjustments.
Oh, is that what that was about? I honestly forgot. I'm not even gonna lie.
That's what we were talking.
No,
about.
I was gonna. No, we were talking about Beastmasters. What we were talking about, and then how there's gonna be shinies out in the world that you can catch.
Yeah.
If there is, I'm actually going to spend like 300 hours playing that job in like 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, me too. That's what I'm saying. Like, that would be compelling, right? That'd be fun.
Right. You don't know the shiny hunt, like, the life, all right? You don't know it.
Yeah, I do.
No, he doesn't, though. He doesn't.
Oh, right.
What, Sly? You're raising your hand. What do you need?
Yeah, I was saying, like, I was raising my hand saying, I don't know.
Well, in Pokemon, you see, depending on the game and the generation.
Okay, see, that shiny hunt.
Yeah,
I do.
So we'll have that, but for Beastmaster as a limited job, there'll be shinies out in the world, and you'll have to compete with other people to be the first one to grab. Everyone's going to be like looking for the shiny tiger. The first person that hits that charm button gets it, and then everyone hates you.
So, updates to Save the Queen, huh?
Yeah, this was not in the live letter, all right?
It is now.
Yeah,
there you go.
Updates to Save the Queen. Tell us what that's about, Sly.
Yeah. So, we get a new instance area. We get Eureka.
No. We get the Bozjan Southern Front.
Eureka. Just call it fucking Eureka.
No, because it's not Eureka.
We have to be really, really careful about this. There were so many people like on Twitter, on Reddit and stuff getting so mad about
and that's the thing. I'm
projecting this idea of it being Eureka. All right, so don't call it Eureka. Don't go anywhere near
it's
that.
It's like Eureka.
Okay, all right, fine. We won't call it Eureka.
The Eureka Southern Front. That's what chat just said, the Eurekan Southern Front.
I'll take that.
Look, if it's like Eureka, then Lakeland is like Eureka, all right? It's a zone. All right? It's an instant
I've said
zone.
a lot of outlandish shit on the show. I think you might have just taken the cake with that.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Can anything really fuck you up in Lakeland? No.
No. You misunderstand. I'm saying that like it's a zone. It's an instant zone with 200 people in it. Okay, that is where the similarities with Eureka begin and end. The content inside it is going to be different.
Okay.
I'm still not 100% convinced of that, even after what they've said. So for the Save the Queen quest line, that is the update to our current relic quest. The first step was simple: do an hour or two of quests, and then for any subsequent weapon, hand in 1,000 tomestones of poetics to get 4 scale powders, and bam, you've got all your weapons. Easy squeezy, lemon peasy, item level 45, 5 materia slots. Go do the extreme for the armor if you really want it. For this, it's worth reminding everyone that you do not have to do the zone in order to progress your relic at all. You can never enter this Bosjan Southern Front area and still, by the end of this expansion, fully complete your relic through alternative means.
Tomestones.
And light. And items, yada yada. You've been down that road before. Zodiac weapon, and weapon, books.
Yeah.
Books. I've cursed books. There you go. They will have no relation to one another. If you never want to touch Eureka, you never need to. If you don't want to touch Bosjan Southern Front to be accurate, you will not have to. But you will be able to fully complete a weapon. You will never have to set foot inside of it if you don't want to. So they have made that abundantly clear. They've also said, however, the story is mandatory both ways, which is good because it means that no matter which route you take, you'll get to see the end of the story, which is proving to be on a very interesting start despite the quite short bit of content in 0.25. Now, what we have here that's similar to Eureka, more than 100 players will enter a field. But in their own words, the content inside will be completely different. They are going to have actions like Logos actions, however, and it will have its own leveling progression system. There will, of course, be threatening enemies in there. But I'm willing to wager this is not an area like Eureka where it's this ether-warped, backwards, jail that was risen from the depths of the life stream by... this primal of the same name of the island. It's literally a place on a war front. It's literally a war front, a battle between the resistance, the Bosjan resistance, and the 4th Imperial Legion. And as such, it's not too hard to imagine how this might differ in regards to the structure of the content versus something like Eureka itself.
More Garlean weapons as bosses, right?
Well, not even that. I think that it's pretty easy to guess objective wise what we'll be doing in there. I'd imagine things like garrisons and forts being battled over in regards to control on the map, and only being able to access something by controlling all of them on the map at any given point, getting alerts to Garlean troops trying to take back certain ones and defending them and whatnot. I feel like that kind of content structure, which ultimately, I'll be honest, boils down to there's fates everywhere. Just because you change the name doesn't really change the fact that you go to a location and fight an event that pops up at different times.
It's interesting. This would be like the perfect kind of vehicle for open world PvP content.
Yeah, but fortunately, we don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, but it's kind of interesting. It's like when you're saying that, it sounds like it's going to kind of feel like what an open world PvP zone would feel like in other games, but without PvP.
I just hope that it isn't as simple as Chad has said, running from one Garlean skirmish to the next instead of one notorious monster to the next. That I've kind of wanted for stuff like maps and hunt marks and stuff that more closely emulates content that we can do outside of there, inside of there, with the purpose of whatever I don't even know what they're going to call the new elemental level. Call it Ilsebarden level. I don't know. There's no ether there, isn't there? Isn't there like no ether in Ilsabard for us to like draw from? Or there's not that much?
There's less.
There's less, yeah, so...
Yeah.
Maybe we need to toughen our bodies.
But that's the same thing like with Othard, right? That's true. On the first, there's way less as well. The further away you get from Moderna, basically. Yeah, look, I think you're right. It's got to be more than just an aesthetic difference from Eureka. Even if it does end up feeling similar, I think it's got to be more than just fate trains, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'd hope so, because the content inside will be completely different. It's too broad of a statement for me to trust that means it won't just be that. And I'm not gonna lie, by the time we got to Hydatos and Pyros, I enjoyed Eureka by then, mostly because of the actions, which I'm glad to hear are going to be in from the get-go. But that doesn't change. It's not about my expectations. It's about the millions of fucking comments I'm going to have to read. They said it would be completely different. And I'm going to be like, I hate everything. Yeah, when you go inside, it's actually Blade and Soul.
Yeah, it's actually a first-person shooter. Yeah,
it's actually, you know, that new map with Call of Duty, the Battle Royale they just released.
Yeah,
it's that. Yeah, you drop in.
Yeah, it just like boots it up.
Yeah, and you have to send money into the sky.
Oh,
yeah,
huh?
You go in and it's Dirge of Cerberus. All right, now you've gone too far. All right,
you go in and there's just like another little sort of encampment, but you have to like get on a cart, and then there's a loading screen, and then you get like an opening cutscene, and you wake up in the back of this cart, and you see where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah. The point is ultimately Final Fantasy 14 plays like Final Fantasy 14. So the statement completely different means nothing to me. Because you're ultimately still going to a place and fighting something, no matter, like, that's literally the core aspect of every piece of content in the game.
Yeah, when they say completely different, you can't get too excited.
The expectations need to be reasonable there. So I still expect it to go to a place and fight. It's just how it actually impacts the progression of the zone that I expect to be different largely from Eureka.
So the most interesting thing to me here is they said the southern Bosnian front, where they were implying that, like, well, they told us their next objective is Alamut Fortress. We were talking about this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
The Castrum, Lacus Litor, where his second in command, Menenius Rem Lanitus, is basically going to be, and that we were going to be pushing for that. But that's north of Bosnia. So who are we going to be fighting then? Let me have a look at my notes. Okay, yeah. We'll be fighting Leon Sas Helsos, the Beastmaster.
There you
He's
go.
currently en route to Bosnia.
There you go.
So it's going to be leaning towards him somehow. So Beastmasters.
There you go. See you in...
Hey, you know it'd be crazy if the content in there was limited jump Beastmaster.
You can only go in there as a Beastmaster? Yeah. That's it. A whole exploration zone only for Beastmasters.
You know what? I think I'd be okay with that, actually.
Yeah, you say that. I'm never worried about how I feel. I'm worried about reading my comment sections. I always have to think beyond what I want, because what I want is irrelevant most of the time. Logos action, charm pet. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Honestly, that straight up wouldn't surprise me if you could charm the wildlife with a Logos action. That's a very Logos, like, relevant thing that I'd totally believe.
That'd be fucking sweet.
Yeah.
Just have, like, play your job and then just have, like, some Logos actions that are, like, Beastmaster oriented. That'd be really interesting.
It's going to be interesting. Another thing is that we have to remember that this is not going to be a traditional Garlean battlefield either, because the 4th Legion literally doesn't do anything like the rest. They don't use Magitek at all.
Well, we know they don't rely on Magitek.
Okay, to be fair, they don't rely on it.
We don't know they don't use it, period. But they have a lot of magic, and well, we know they have mages and they got Beastmasters. That's their, like, bread and butter.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big core of this next part. I'm so excited. Like the Eureka, analogies aside and memes. I was really excited for 5.25. I was not disappointed, other than the really random EX trial and it not having a mount. I wasn't even disappointed in the trial. It was just like, what the fuck?
The fact that it didn't have a mount.
Well, the fact that it doesn't have a mount makes it really tough to balance getting people in there after its relevancy. It's really tough, and I really think they need to go back and visit giving that a mount, to be honest. I think they need to consider that with any like bonus EX trials we get in the future. But it's in the lore and the world building was really solid in 5.25, and for something that was so inconsequential overall as like a content patch, like an hour to 2 hours if you were just doing kind of the story and whatnot, it came with a lot of potent storytelling behind it and setup as well, unlike Nier.
Now we expect this to be 5.35.
Yes,
don't we?
They even make mention. They said they haven't decided when, but likely 0.35. Come on, you're not going to add it before.
After what they're saying about delaying 5.3, they would be crazy not to push this back a little bit.
Yeah, but 0.35 is automatically pushed back, so
yeah,
just like here's the thing. I don't think it'll be 0.36. I'll say that much at the very least. 0.35 is the best place to guess, which would put it at just about a little bit over 5 months from now, today, because of all the delays. 3.5 months till the patch, approximately, and then another 6 to 7, and that's if there's no more delays, and another 6 to 7 weeks for a 0.5 patch after. Math checks out.
Yeah. Well,
unfortunately.
That was the thing that I was most excited for in 5.3 until we got a little bit later in the live letter.
Really? That's going to take over. All right. We'll get to that in a little bit. Updates to Crafters, Gatherers. They're adding a means to practice every craft in the game with trial synthesis. We kind of got like a beta system for that in this patch where you can get materials to specifically try the Ishgardian ones, and they're just adding a trial synthesis mode. Just you're able to try recipes without materials, so you can practice actually crafting the item before attempting to. Another, again, they just keep knocking it out of the park with crafting and gathering quality of life. So probably much to the disdain of actual crafters who are trying to make money off this stuff. But even they would probably enjoy the ability to practice before using the materials more so on random stuff. But they also probably don't need practice because probably just macro anything that's not an expert.
Yeah.
I think of that more for 6.0. When it gets updated again and it goes there. That's really where I'm thinking of it.
The more quality of life there is for crafting and the more accessible crafting is, the less money hardcore crafters make.
You're not wrong. Let's go ahead and say you're not wrong.
I'm already fucked on desynthesis. Y'all coming down with me. All right? As far as I'm concerned.
All right.
Y'all gonna burn with me. For me, I just look at all the quality of life and go, now I'm really glad I don't craft, because I'd be pissed if I put in all that time. I'm already pissed about desynthesis. I only got one thing to worry about as far as I'm concerned, because I put a lot of effort into that. I'm glad I don't really care that much, because I can imagine I would care a lot otherwise if I was hardcore and made 100. Listen, I'm still hoping they add a 100 million gil mount as a gil sync. And I will buy it, and I will work on making money if they add new ones. So
that would have to be a pretty amazing mount. 100 million gil?
What if it's just a giant gil coin? That's it.
You ride a giant gil coin.
Yeah. Maybe that one could be 10 million.
Yeah. Oh, you know what it should be? It should be the Lolorito statue with rocket jets.
It could be. We could ride on Telegi's shoulders, and he's had rockets installed in the bottom half after he was to fly. We're just riding on the shoulders of his corpse, and he's had rockets installed in the bottom half to fly us all over the place.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
I could party with that.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know if that's what you would. I don't know if partying is the precise terminology for it. Yeah, I don't know. I just want more Gil syncs in the game. I want more reasons to make Gil. Maybe it would push me to craft more.
For sure.
What else did they say? New custom delivery client, and also making it so collectibles no longer rotate randomly from the list of collectibles. So it'll just be a set list, and you'll just go through. That way there's less items to manage, less collectibles to manage in the game. And that's it for Crafting Gathering. Nice little things. I'm curious about the custom delivery client and who it'll be. Any thoughts on who that could be? Ishgard related? First related?
It had to be Ishgard related.
I don't think it has to be anything.
Why?
We got Kurenai out of nowhere, in my opinion.
I would hope it would be someone on the first, honestly.
I mean, we would hope, but generally
maybe Lena. Maybe it can be stuff for
the facets.
for the Crystarium guard. I don't know.
Oh God! Don't give people the ability to dress her up. I don't need that on my Twitter feed.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I take that back. Actually, never mind that.
No. You're fine.
Now he's listening. All right.
Thirsty?
Okay.
You thirsty again? How's that beer? There you go. Dulia. There you go. Dulia Chai. That's who it'll be for.
I don't know if we'd be able to dress her.
Well, maybe. I mean, who says we have to? That doesn't have to be a function. Yeah, because obviously they wouldn't have. She uses a different model than every other character, so they don't gear for that model.
She uses an altered Lalafell model, so it would just be like stretched Lalafell textures.
Yeah, but we know they're not a big fan of doing that.
That'd be amazing, actually.
We know they're not a big fan of that. So, I could imagine Lena. Lena would realistically be a high probability. Actually, I'd be really curious if it was Dulia or her husband for Yulmore's sake. I wouldn't be entirely against that.
I'm so done with Yulmore.
Her husband more than likely.
I'm so done with Yulmore.
Oh, we do already have a Yulmore in one, right? Yeah, we wouldn't have another one there. Ironworks? Because we have the fucking what's his face?
Kaishir.
Yeah, Kaishir. Yeah, they wouldn't do that again. I forgot about
So you don't want to do anything with Tailless Ironworks or anything like that?
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking with her husband is the Tailless Ironworks. But I think with Kaishir and Yulmore, we don't need another one in Yulmore. It could also be the dwarves. But I think with us getting crafters for the dwarves, also getting a custom delivery client with the dwarves seems like redundant. That's why I think it's redundant to have someone from Ishgard, though.
Yeah. We've done nothing with anyone in the Crystarium, really, since 5.0.
We've had, 2 Idleshire people? Which is weird now that I think about it. We had Kurenai randomly.
You got your nuts.
Thanks, Sly.
And we had Monago.
And we had Kaishir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know who it could be, but I kind of hope now that you mention it with Kaishir, I kind of hope it doesn't tread old ground and it goes to a location where there isn't one. If there's another one in fucking Idleshire, they just go back to Idleshire again. Oh man. Ishgard's getting updates, of course. It'll enter its third phase. The Sky Builders rankings will reopen, but no mention of adjustments to the way that they work after what happened. Servers are just this last 7 days finally finishing the restoration, and only a few of them have actually fully finished all the phases of the restoration.
Well, there's been no incentive since the rank season's finished.
And that's why I kind of was hoping they'd make mention of how they've seen it play out so far. Because they kind of went from the extreme of there's not enough phases of Ishgard to introducing an event that kind of matches how many phases there were last time, but doesn't take into consideration how many phases there are this time. Because there's a lot of phases to go through that servers are just finishing them now. It's crazy how many there were. So I don't know. Do you think they need to shorten the number of fates or the number of portions to a phase? Do you think it's okay that it just kind of drags on like it did this time, and
for
most
sure.
servers haven't finished it. I just want them to change the ranking system, like that 10 days and then it's done until for like, you know, a whole patch. Just, I don't know, it doesn't sit well with me.
What would be the ideal amount of days, though? Then?
I think the number of days is fine, but the frequency of the rankings opening is my concern.
I agree. Have it the same, because the thing is, if it goes beyond 10 days, people just end up killing themselves trying to grind it, you know?
Yeah.
But have like more than one season. You know, have 10 days on, 10 days off. I don't know, maybe 10.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
I'd even do the first 10 days of like the first 10 days after the following Tuesday of every month, or even the first 10 days of every month, just without messing it. Just something more than once.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's you have
sure.
to be so crazy to work on the rewards anyway. I mean, maybe the crafters who did get the rewards, who did get the titles, who don't have to worry about it anymore, maybe they do care about the frequency, so they, you know, their title and its rarity is not in any way compromised. I like the idea of having content that's available more frequently for sake of engaging the people interested in it.
It was just a title. Make it a different title each time.
I don't think they'd make it a different title every month, you know? I understand that all you're asking them to do is to write text in a box and make it apply to the character. I don't think they'd want to do that. I think they'd make it different titles. Yeah, and the rewards will be the same for every season. It's going to be the same title.
That was one thing I was concerned about in the beginning, like the reward structure, like having the same exact reward for every season. Like that, there's something you could do in terms of the reward structure every season. Like,
I was astonished that it was just a title.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what else is there to say.
I mean, you look at like the PvP season rewards, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When we first heard about this, like the idea that came to my head was something along the line of, you know, what we're getting in Skysteel tools. Like has like extra special tools as a reward. You get to pick whatever tool you want for whatever job, and that's it. What would essentially, you know, keep you coming back to, you know, get the rewards is, you know, you have all these crafters. You can get the reward for every crafter if you're good.
Yeah, I am.
But
I got a strawberry, guys.
I wanted to give it to you because it looks like a
Ooh.
that is a fat ass strawberry.
That's why Mel wanted to give me the strawberry, because it's thick. It's a thick booty strawberry. She came in the middle of my podcast and gave me this thick booty strawberry.
I told you that was a fat ass strawberry.
Day 25 of quarantine, this strawberry is looking mighty fine.
You say I'm fucking thirsty. God damn.
Juicy.
Just rips
Going straight for
into
man.
it.
That's a really good
You're gonna be
strawberry.
missing that strawberry in another week.
A strawberry is juicy.
So to get us back on track,
Good luck.
I think we've talked enough about Ishgard. Can we get into like the real meat and potatoes here?
No,
Or
strawberries.
strawberries.
Damn it.
There you go.
You owe me a soda, Jenks.
The real meat and strawberries here.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that what's next? Is what I think's next?
Yeah, dude. This was such a missed opportunity here. They really should have called it a Realm Reborn.
No, a realm
I'm disappointed.
reborn squared, or reborn, or just a realm. What was patch 2.1? A realm awakened? Damn it! No, that doesn't.
Yeah,
A realm
something
remake.
like that.
A realm remake.
No. You cannot do a
realm
remake.
A realm re-colon made.
Ricola? Ricola.
Oh my god.
A realm reborn revamp. ARRR.
So when when do the ghosts first show up in a Realm Reborn remake?
No, we're not going down this road right now. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. We had this. We had Sunday for this.
Right after your first interaction with Hydaelyn, yeah, you start seeing fucking ghosts. Let's fucking go.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, you're going into an alleyway.
This is a safe place. This is a safe place. This isn't TBG.
All right, okay.
This is a safe place.
I have my fun. Missed opportunity though, for sure. What do we think? I mean, most of this we already knew, right? Taking away 13% of the quests, consolidating a lot of them. I'm still worried that we're going to lose a lot, you know?
I mean, 13% of 100 is not a whole lot, because that 13% statement in particular appeared to have applied to 2.1 to 2.5, where Yoshi P made specific mention that their data suggests most players literally get to 2.1 and say, I'm not doing that. So, that's...
I mean, they had to. Like, I'm not disputing that. Like, for the longevity of the game, they absolutely had to. Because, I mean, the difference between now and back during a Realm Reborn, right, is that we had months between patches, and when we got, 4 hours of story that included a bunch of filler, like, it was good. We were returning to this world. We want, the world building and, the arbitrary little, like, back and forth was quite compelling. But when you try to do it, like, back to back now in one sitting or several sittings, or the pacing is just, like, way off. I get that, but I still feel like we're going to lose a lot of flavor.
You're just afraid of losing the cheese. Cheese and wine.
We're not going to lose the cheese. We're absolutely not going to lose the cheese. They're not going to take out Brayflock's Longstop, are they?
No, but do you want to run around getting the wine? Because that's one class that people look at even before they're done with 2.0 and go.
Yeah,
okay.
and that's a shame, because like Shamani Lamani is such a fantastic character. And if you're actually like reading the dialogue for all that stuff, and with the Garlean defector who we actually come back to in Return to Ivalice, and it turns out that he was from Rabanastre, I believe.
Yeah.
But like, that's what I mean. Like, there's so much, even the most seemingly like trivial, arbitrary stuff in a Realm Reborn ends up having so much flavor and so much significance to it that I think we're going to lose something.
Well, I mean, they do say
most people don't care.
There's a lot of quests that introduce NPCs that reappear later, so they cut down everything around those characters without removing those characters. So you could still have that quest and not have it be shit. That still introduces the character.
For sure, but it'll just be like a hi bye, so that this character exists, so that there's not going to be like a continuity error later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I've pulled nothing of substance away from that character other than its existence and that it knows about wine.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and like I say, I think that represents like 95% of the player base, and I think this is a really, really good thing that they're doing. I would encourage that like lore fanatics and people that are really kind of like invested and engaged in the story and the world just to go back and do it one more time before 5.3.
I'm doing that right now. Honestly, I gotta say, I'm actually doing a Realm Reborn replay. I forget what I'm calling it. It's because I've got the word revamp in front of me, so my brain immediately just went to that.
Remind?
Yeah, I think I called it restart. A Realm Reborn restart. And I'm playing through... This. Okay, so here are all of my rules and stipulations. I have to... Yeah, it is restart. 2.0 to 2.55. As a DPS with no tanker healer queuing with me. No EXP boosts that are only have timed availability, meaning preferred world, pre-order bonuses, Mog Station. That's just out of principle. So that means no Aetheryte earrings, no Far Eastern set, no preferred world, no friendship circlet, because I'm assuming a new player doesn't just automatically have that. The only items I was allowed to use was the Helm of Light, which came with the collector's edition of 2.0. And the brand new ring, which is earned after you've already started playing. I can use Palace of the Dead. There's no reason why I can't do that. Palace of the Dead on your first character kind of sucks EXP-wise anyway. You just use it as a catch-up tool. And I have to watch all the cutscenes as well. And it was super fucking relaxing. And I had something, and I explained to Ethys, I was like, yeah, the Silver Bazaar talks about, like building and expanding, and then nothing happens. He's like, what?
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that quest. Yeah.
I don't remember that quest.
Yeah, and I'm level 16 after a few hours of fucking around with no real, like, direct, just do the main story and be done. I'm like a few levels over the main story. And doing guild hest. It was actually way more tolerable than I thought it was for the first little bit. We'll see how that pans out as we get to some of the worst level ranges like Korthus and Northern Thanalin, especially really close to 50, plus 2.1 to 2.55 itself. Oh, and I also have to complete the Crystal Tower. That's going to be mandatory later anyway, so might as well.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be a really nice little nostalgia trip. And like I say, like what they're doing here is so important for the longevity of the game and the life of the game and the health of the player base. But people that are invested, maybe people that like skipped through a lot of it the first time and became invested later on, as happened to a lot of us, I really very strongly encourage you to go back and do it in full before 5.3. Once again, you got plenty of time.
Yeah, and then afterwards we'll see, because they're not just making changes to the quests here. They also made a point to mention that they are going to raise the amount of experience points and gear that you obtain. So you should literally be able to go from Meteor Quest to Meteor Quest to Meteor Quest and level a job just on that. And progress literally from quest to quest just on that, which looking at especially, again, Korthus and the 46 to 49 gap that I mentioned, that's really important that they get that right. They said side quests should be for story and for leveling alts was the ideology behind that. They even said they plan on doing that for Heavensward, Stormblood, and Shadowbringers eventually. Is streamlining that. They didn't say when, they just said we plan to. So there is also that to look forward to in regards to streamlining some of the other experiences in the future. So now that they've started getting a Realm Reborn rolling, they know that it doesn't stop there, that eventually Heavensward and Stormblood eventually, even if they're better than a Realm Reborn is, it falls in the same category of people will want to have to do all of this sequentially, and they're trying to come up with solutions to it now instead of digging themselves another hole later.
What's interesting, isn't it? Because like there's two different sort of content delivery systems when you're playing through the story. The first is that you're up to date and that every 3 months you get a new episodes and you want to immerse yourself in it completely and, take your time consuming it, right?
If you say so.
And that's, well, I mean, that's how they designed a Realm Reborn, like from the bottom up. The idea was that we got these seasons, each patch is an episode, you enjoy it, you go away, you come back when the next episode comes out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's like content delivery system number one. And when you play through that way, everything is really well paced, right? But when you're playing delivery system number two, where you're leveling a new character or you're playing catch up or you're not like up to date, going through them one after the other, the pacing's really, really weird. And balancing those two is really tough. And it's something I think you're right. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like in 6.3 they do it to Heavensward,
At the very least, streamlining the amount of experience points, which is a much easier thing to imagine them doing, which they've said, but I feel like it doesn't end there. I feel like they have to consider the actual pacing of the individual experience for a new player, and that'll shape things more than just experience points.
I think a huge part of it is going back and gradually making every MSQ dungeon. No, I'm making every MSQ dungeon a trust dungeon.
Yeah, I agree that's got to be somewhere along the line. There's no mention of that for Casham or Prey. In a recent interview, they said Casham and Prey are not being changed in this patch. They will still they will still exist as they have. They will still be main scenario, roulette, yada yada yada.
Because we know they're going to be trust dungeons
sooner or later. They've said they've toyed with the idea of doing something like the 3 leaders of the grand companies joining you inside there. They've toyed with the idea, but they've never confirmed they were doing it.
Was it really that tentative?
Apparently.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they said one of the big things is they know people who do actually appreciate the main scenario roulette is literally as little as they pay attention to it. There are a lot of people who are like, oh, great, I got that done. Got my poetics, got a whole level out of it, yada, yada, whatever the benefit might be, regardless if they're Netflixing on the side.
Well, there's no reason they can't do both. You know,
There
like
is. But I agree with you. I agree with you is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, making a dungeon a trust dungeon isn't like mutually exclusive with letting people queue for it. Right?
Yeah, but there is. I do wonder because the whole point of the main scenario roulette is to keep people in Castrum and Praetorium to get other players through, and if you can completely circumvent that, I wonder what the main because now it doesn't exist for those people as much anymore. It exists just for the people who want it as a roulette, nothing else. Whereas roulettes have usually been to facilitate people being able to queue into old content without feeling like nobody else is doing it.
What proportion of people were queuing the Shadowbringers dungeons as trusts the first time they did them?
I think most people try them at least once. Maybe not. I'd say
most.
I think most people, if they didn't do it the first time with a trust, they went back and did it with a trust later. I'd say the split's probably pretty close to like 60% of people just queued in like normal and like 40% probably did them as trust. I know a lot of people who did them as trust the first time. I even did a few as trusts the first time.
I mean, I did. Yeah, I did them all as trust the first time just for, like the flavor. But making Praetorium and Castrum available as trust dungeons, I don't think like the majority of new players are going to opt for the trust route. I still think most people would queue.
I think it depends if it's available beforehand. If it's exposed to you in the level 20 to 50 to 49 dungeons prior, it might exacerbate the issue. And if you're going to add them to all the main scenario dungeons, which you've implied, that might then set a precedent to just do it like that for Castrum. So I think it largely depends on that.
I think that's fair.
I still think they should just make squadrons available right from the second you unlock Grand Company. That's what I think they should do. I don't think it should be level 50 second lieutenant.
That would be fantastic. I would love that.
It doesn't make any sense for the whole point of why squadrons exist, because it's literally your second lieutenant. You need to teach the newbies how to be like not shit. I don't give a shit because the function opening up at 50 just kind of sucks.
Yeah, you defeated Ifrit, right?
Yeah, that's enough.
And the Grand Companies are all like fighting each other to recruit you. There's no reason why they wouldn't be like, this dude like single-handedly defeated Ifrit. Let's either just give him a promotion or be like, hey, fuck it, you got your own squad for shit like this. Get it done.
There you go. Explain. Lore-splain. Done. Did it.
Yeah,
make it happen.
easy.
Squadrons level 20. Be wonderful.
What might be an interesting lost plane, and the thing that I think really blew all our minds in this live letter.
Sort of.
Sort of?
Well,
I thought it was going to happen one day, but this really crept up on me. So to be clear, we're talking about flying. Flying in ARR zones.
Yes.
Unlocked after you beat Praetorium, so you have to finish 2.0. How do we feel about this?
So
we kind of knew it was going to happen, though.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
Sly's bringing up the point.
And it was I think we brought this up how many times on the show?
Oh, so many times.
Yeah.
But
so we knew this was going to happen.
But every time it's come up, like in a live letter or someone's asked Yoshida about it, he's been like, that would cost way too much. That would take so many resources. I mean, like I've been saying, for instance, like I would prefer them to put resources towards making new content than going back and like, rehashing old zones.
Okay. I'm going to semi get through the elephant in the room. But I'm going to go about it in like the most like around the bush way.
Mm-hmm.
We're steadily getting new players, right?
Yeah,
I'd say that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, it's a fair assessment. We're changing ARR, not really completely, but to the point where it's easy for people to get to new content, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't having that kind of accessibility be a thing?
We actually have an
Especially
explanation
now,
to that in this live letter. We actually do have an explanation to that, Sly. So one of the big things with the Realm Reborn flying, as Ethys has said, as Yoshida has said, it's too many resources. I'm not going to make my team work on that. He didn't. The team did it in their free fucking time, apparently, just like some of the other things. Yeah. Again. They're just like, well, we got to do that. He straight up said, no, that's not on the plan. And they're like, well, it is.
Well, what they apparently said to him was like, hey, if you keep making that excuse, if you keep using that explanation of it's too expensive and then it's just never going to happen. And we know, the players know, everyone knows that sooner or later we've got to do this. So let's just fucking do it. Let's just rip that Band-Aid off, put in the slog and get it done. So yeah, they just did like of their own volition in their own time.
Yeah, and so much so that Soken was like, well, fuck, you should have told me. Because Soken apparently had to apologize because he literally didn't design the sound design of the Realm Reborn zones isn't built for the space. There's places that sound effects just straight up won't work because there's not designed that way. So now he's on a delayed portion. It's gonna be a little janky when it first comes out.
We don't deserve them.
Yeah. So it was actually, I thought it was so funny that Soken was like, all right, I'll fix it. I'll fucking fix it. Okay. But yeah, no, it's existing. So Yoshida actually makes mention that people who do out of bounds tricks had found a skybox a little while ago. We had brought it up on State of the Realm.
All the boundaries have been altered.
Yeah, and
in various ways.
Yeah, and Yoshida makes mention that players had indeed discovered that, and they were right. They were right that was why they had been altered, was because they at this point knew that this was going to be a thing that was going to be done.
I'm really interested to see, like, all of the AR zones are kind of, using like Mordona as an example. Mordona's like a central hub and then two sort of corridors, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, like these two wings, this triangle. I'm wondering if like we're going to be stuck within the bounds of those corridors in flying, or whether we'll just be able to fly like right over the entire zone.
I feel like that's exactly what will happen.
That's going to be, like, we're going to be able to fly, like, over Silvertear Lake. Like, that is so exciting. Are you kidding me? We are going to see, like, all these zones from completely different perspectives. We're not going to be able to, like, go to new places, but we're going to be able to, like, see new stuff and stuff from different angles. And I'm so fucking excited for this.
Yeah. And it's mostly for an ease of access thing. Again, right after you finish a Realm Reborn, you'll get it. You've been everywhere around the world at that point. The story is designed for it at that point. So it's not like there's something inaccessible that you wouldn't have been able to access prior to this. You would have had to kind of just ignore maps. Hell, I forgot until today that a Realm Reborn maps unlock fully every time as soon as you zone into them now. I had forgotten that until I had started playing through today. And I wonder how it will look, because I don't think they're going to take the time to make new landmarks to fill the areas that were there. I think they'll mostly just be mountainsides and grass and rock and stuff like that. I don't think they're going to have like new lore tidbits unless they really want to, which maybe wouldn't surprise me. But Koji would have to be in on the Koji and Oda-san would have to be in on that in order to make that happen.
Yeah, if they do, they won't do it immediately. I think that would be more something that would happen if they end up consolidating the zones. So, making like
I honestly don't think they ever do it. I don't think they ever consolidate.
You don't think they'll ever do it?
No. I said that about flying too, though, so fuck me, right?
Yeah. I mean, they certainly don't need to, but it's definitely on my wish list because that would be incredible, I think. Although, the problem is that even like within Lenosha and within the Shroud, there are pretty big corridors, pretty big like intermediary areas between the zones that they would have to like fill out for them to kind of like make sense structurally if they were consolidating them, and that would be a huge amount of work.
Hey, you want to see what they looked like in 1.0 before they were consolidated? Long fucking corridors.
Yeah, sure. And we know that obviously like the Calamity changed the structure of AOZ a lot, and that was kind of the explanation for the superior level design in Realm Reborn. But there's still like a lot more distance implied between, say, East Shroud and South Shroud than what most people realize.
Yeah.
It's definitely on my wish list though. Like if it's on the table, if going back and like fucking around with the ARR zones is on the table.
Listen, I mean, you know, now that people can't ask about flying in A Realm Reborn, that's the next question in literally every interview Yoshi P does. We know you're adding flying to the A Realm Reborn zones. Have you considered consolidate? Literally the very next interviews that come out, whether they be email or, you know, once, you know, we can start, events can start existing again. It's literally going to be the first question. I'll email him today. Fuck it. I don't care. Shoot an email over to the PR team and just be like, listen, can you just ask Yoshida this one thing real quick? Can I just get an answer on that?
Yoshida, when are we going to be able to fly over the West Shroud?
That's another thing. Now that we can fly in these zones, there's no longer a reason we can't get to some of the previously concealed areas. You know what's going to happen? Koji's going to be like, well, the wind ether in those areas isn't really as isn't really as like strong there
right now, aren't you? At this,
the wind ether in those places is kind of weaker, so you know, like you know, you can't really go there. I wish it weren't so weak, but you know it is. So
yeah, good on you, Koji. Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. There's also no swimming yet. You know, maybe that's the next thing they do in their free time instead.
But they have to add.
Could you imagine being able to dive into Bronze Lake and like
Silver Tier
go through like the ruins of Nim and?
Sorry, they would have to add. They would have to add the deep sea fishing, wouldn't they? The
spearfishing to the old zones. They wouldn't have to. They could literally just be purely aesthetic if they wanted to. I mean, didn't they add? They added swimming to another place. Where did they add swimming to?
If they added it, like they could use fish. I'd be okay with
underwater.
That.
Yeah. Costa del. Yo, you can you go underwater in Costa? I don't remember. And the Mist? Can you? No.
No. I don't know if you can dive in them.
No, you can't dive. You can swim. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So they haven't even had to dive into those, and those have swim abilities. So yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
That doesn't count. Not even a little bit. Also, a really odd consolidation is your Chocobo will automatically be able to fly now, and they're removing the I Believe I Can Fly quest that gives all of your non-black Chocobos flight.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know something funny? I've been in a few live streams as of late where there's been discussion about flying mounts. And there's still a lot of people who don't think every mount in the game can fly, even though it's literally been stated every mount in the game can fly. And you know what mounts they don't think can fly? Your non-black Chocobos. Even though, yeah, I've seen it a lot going around some different live streams that people still don't know you can unlock, that this quest exists in the first place.
Is it people that haven't done the unlock quest for it? Well,
they're like, well, not every mount can fly. My company Chocobo can't fly, and I'm like,
yeah, yours can't.
Yours can't. Yeah. Meanwhile, my fat little fucker's chasing some cake.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll give us an explanation for it.
No,
because you know the quest was like, your Chocobo loves you so much that it's like super motivated.
No.
Nah,
they're literally just gonna fly.
It'll just fly.
Yeah, that's it. They have enough wind ether. We've beaten Ultima, and now we have enough wind ether to make them fly everywhere.
You think that'll be it? It'll be like, yes, when you defeated Garuda, you were exposed to the astral currents, and now you can
further refined after facing the Ultima weapon and being blessed in the light of Hydaelyn.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Chocobo absorbs Garuda instead of Ultima weapon. It's like, sorry, Ultima, yoink. I'll take that. Thank you very much. Listen, if Garuda in the Ultima Weapon Ultimate fight could infuse herself with Wind Ether as the correct way to do the mechanic, then clearly, I can do the same by being hit by her attacks. I'm like a sponge of ether as the Warrior of Light.
I mean, that's basically true. That checks out.
So, yep, I'm replaying A Realm Reborn, and then we'll replay it again at 5.3. Doing it as Black Mage. Thaumaturge for now.
Hell yeah.
Do it as Thaumaturge again in 5.3. Get the same exact experience. Although I suspect it'll be faster there even without factoring in the actual changes, because more people will probably go back and try it in New Game Plus, which is getting its updates as well. Then we came to something, the most frightening stare of all time, perhaps, in the form of the faux hollows. Unreal Trials and the faux hollows.
For real?
No, Unreal.
No, they're Unreal. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. This is the biggest curveball I think we've ever gotten in a live letter.
I just want to know, Chloe, the orphanage that you go to, is there a guy who he comes in and out of the orphanage sometimes and he sings songs when he's there? And have you ever learned like how to play the music that he plays? Because I don't know if Chloe had to have been taught this shit by the fucking wandering minstrel, or he's helping her in some way. Because I don't think she's just suddenly giving us the magic for this shit.
I mean, it's not that different from
the minstrel.
No, I mean from the journals.
What do you mean? The journals just ask us to go do old shit. Us
Yeah,
unsyncing them is not like a lore relevant thing.
No. What she's doing is she's collecting stories because she wants to tell the other orphans stories.
Yeah.
And she wants it to be the stories of our adventures. So she's just gotten a little bit more creative.
Yeah, like the
No,
minstrel
she's
or
learned
the,
some fucking
dramaturge.
black magic shit from the wandering minstrel, all right?
Yeah, or the dramaturge. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
He showed up and she's like, "Oh, I'd love to hear some adventures." Then he went, "Ba-dum." And then suddenly she had the same powers as him.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I fully expect him to show up in the Unreal Trials, like not in the trial, but like as like the introduction to it. I fully expect him to be there.
So, in the rare occasion that people might not be sure what we're talking about with Unreal Trials, do you want to kind of outline it, explain what the heck's going on here?
So, Unreal Trials is a new trial difficulty where we will battle, and it specifically notes primals, which I assume is technically just the general term they're using to refer to trials, because that's kind of how it's been for a while, synced up to level 80. So the example they give is, Titan, he's a level 50 primal, but now he's going to be like, yo, I'm level 80 now. Let's go. And
He already is.
yeah. Well, he's literally, dude, if we had Titan Unreal, we'd have Titan Normal, Titan Hard, Titan Extreme, Titan Savage, Titan Ultimate, and Titan Unreal, which is an inevitability at some point.
Right.
Like, that's stupid. But anyway. Shiva's literally only one short of... no, Shiva only has Hard, Extreme, Savage now. And she'll have Unreal at some point. So, that being said, Titan isn't going to be the first one. They're actually starting with Shiva. They're starting with Akafat, Amphitheater, Unreal.
Which I think is a very strange choice.
The reason was really weird. They're like, Titan Extreme's already like a Savage fight, and then we have Titan Savage, and we just did Shiva Savage, so let's do Shiva Unreal. I was like, I feel like you just went forward and back, and you should have just done Cruise Chaser at this point.
That was fucking terrible. Go to your corner.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is like, yeah, we've already been fighting Shiva, so here's some more Shiva. It's like, who would want that?
Yeah, I don't want to go back to the inferior
Why
music,
you?
Shiva.
Well, because you want something different, right? Like, I know they're very different fights, but, aesthetically, it would be nice to have something a little different.
Yeah, I mean...
That's what I thought.
Yeah, they
So
could have
you
done
would-
Odin,
something like
they could have...
Sephiroth.
Yeah, they could have done Thornton.
Zervin, Sophia.
Oh,
anyone in the
Zervin,
Wing
Jesus.
Triad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Now that I say that, I'm actually interested in level 80 Zervin.
I'm interested
How
in
would
all
they
of it.
do? How would they do birthday cake Zervin? I'm kind of interested in that.
Dude, I'm sure that sounds like a skin you'd find for Zervin in a loot box.
Birthday cake Zervin.
Birthday cake Zervin. Happy birthday, Zervin. There you go.
We know they're rotating.
Yeah,
right?
so
And
this is a
yeah.
weird thing. So they're doing one of these per patch. And you know what? The more I've thought about it, the more
Maybe
I think
two.
I know what they're going for. One for now. They said they might be
for
able
now.
to squeeze 2 of them into a patch. But the thing is, when the patch is done, when 5.3 is done, we've ticked over to 5.4. The one that was there, which will be Akafai Amphitheater Unreal, will be removed. And a new one or 2 will be cycled in, and they'll do that every patch. I think I know why, now that I've thought about it after some time. Because originally I heard that and I said, what? Why the fuck would you do that? I think it's literally because the whole point of Unreal is to bring it up to our current game mechanics, our current quality of life, our current level. And as soon as we go up to level 90, they now have a trial that is literally, the point is defeated of it even existing in the first place.
No, that makes sense.
So I think that's probably why they're doing it. It also means that if they ever rotate it back in, they have time to update it to like, level 90 or something like that. They have time to do that. So I'm like, I kind of just want it to be permanent, but that seems to be the most reasonable explanation for this, because they literally go out of their way to say like these fights just they don't work with the way our game is currently designed. Like when you go back, there's all sorts of like weird things and mechanics and like UI, and like we've seen that. Like when you go back to old content, when something's a split damage marker, good luck. Because you just have to figure it out by getting trucked in the face by it and being like, well, 2 of us got trucked in the face for less that time. Whereas now we have AoE markers and they've consolidated a lot of things and made things clear. And those aren't reflected in the old fights at all. So they're going to be updating it with some mechanics that are more representative of the times without really changing the fight overall.
So I think the big question here is they say it's a new difficulty.
Yeah. Which is weird, as opposed to it just being a new mode.
Yeah, because they repeated that.
What's that?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. That's the thing. Semantics.
It's semantics. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
convinced.
it's just semantics. Because remember when we got new dungeons, like challenging new dungeons, and everyone's like, that wasn't true. It's like the same thing. It's like it's a new difficulty, but it's just because it's named something different, not because it's like a ramped up version of it.
All right. So if it's not a new difficulty, then we're assuming that it's extreme mode, right?
I assume it's going to be the same difficulty as extreme, but just level 80. That's how I feel about it.
They're not adding anything new to the fights at all.
Well, they said they're going to have to like change the way certain mechanics and stuff like that work, but I imagine they're going to be doing like as little as they can get away with, right?
Yeah,
they're
that's what I'd imagine too.
As close to extreme mode as possible. Because the alternative to that is that it is a new difficulty mode that's either somewhere in between hard and extreme, or who knows, maybe something closer to savage, and that maybe there are new mechanics. But that would also defeat the purpose of it, right? Because the idea is that it's like very low cost, like, same assets, just kind of, adjusted. Like a low cost. Well, kind of like what we were saying about Varus, right? Is that they've taken this kind of like this new extreme mode. They haven't had to use a bunch of new assets or new like OST or anything. It's like very easy, very low cost to like, deliver that. And it seems like this is the same sort of concept. Yeah?
Yeah.
So we think it is going to be extreme mode, basically.
Yes. I think it's going to be a weekly extreme, because that's the other thing, is that it comes with a weekly reward of you getting to play the new minigame, the Faux Hollows, which they detailed in absolutely zero detail.
Yeah, what the hell is that going to be?
It's going to be the Chloe books, but it's going to be like a game you have to play. You know what it's going to be? You ever been to the carnival and you have to throw the rings on top of the fucking bottles and it's rigged as fuck? It's that, all right?
No, it's the Mushroom House from Super Mario 3.
Oh, no.
Match,
What do you mean? Mushroom House is great.
You had the match 3 of the things, yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be that.
Fuck
Please
that.
look forward to it.
What do you mean? The fucking Mushroom House was easy squeezy.
It really was.
You should have been more upset at what I said. My game is impossible. His game has been done.
No, fuck both of them. I don't want there to be any like RNG involved with it.
Well,
Please.
unfortunately,
That would be nice.
I don't think you've met Chloe before then.
No, you're right.
Because Chloe literally like lives on that in regards to the reward structure.
So
And-
long as we can redo it, so long as like I can do the minigame, get my reward, and then reject it and say, no, I'll just go do the fight again, actually.
Nope,
Thanks.
once per week, if you clear these fights, get to play a minigame. That's it. That's what it says.
All right. Okay.
Try to get 3 lines in 1 try, baby. It's essentially, that's how I read it. I read it as updated, the updated Chloe books, essentially.
Yeah.
The updated Wondrous Tales.
Yeah.
But with like
Yeah, you're probably
a
right.
fight added to it, like a fight like remade for it. I'm curious what it will actually end up being like. I have a feeling it will be pretty simple. I have a feeling it's just add another weekly objective to the ladder if you're interested in it. If you weren't interested in Wondrous Tales, there's honestly you might not be even interested in this. I like the idea, but I'm definitely not the kind of person who would do it every week. I'd be the kind of person who'd want to see what they did, see if they did anything different, or if anything looks different visually with the elements of the fight, and then probably not do it very much. That seems like that's very much in my wheelhouse personally. But there's gonna be people who want to do it every week. Depends on what the rewards are, and let's be real, it's probably gonna be some really expensive, like minions and maybe a mount and stuff like that. That's the realistic, probability of it.
Yeah.
Maybe they up the item level and the accessories from like some of these old fights, because like she had like bracelets and stuff too. Maybe they could do it with other fights too. Some of them, I think most of the Realm Reborn ones in particular had accessories.
Yes.
Yeah,
They all had accessories.
I think they all did. Yeah, pretty sure, except for Odin, who sorry. Now the only thing I dread, we joked earlier about Cape Westwind Unreal. Or we joked earlier about Cape Westwind getting updated, but now there's a real possibility of seeing an Unreal version of Cape Westwind.
I mean, it is a trial. It counts.
Yeah. I'm worried about Good King Moggle. I'm very worried.
No.
I think they know better.
I don't think they do.
I
If
think
they
they
give
do.
us Good King Mogomog before we got any of like the Warring Shrine, like that would have to be bottom of the barrel. Like they've done everything else. The only one left is King Mogomog. I'd be like,
It's
all right,
a
fine.
mean fight.
It's a shit
Good
fight.
King Moggle.
It's a meme
Good King
fight. Like, they would just be doing
Lord
it for
of all
memes.
the land. Good King Moggle. Good King Mog. Rules with iron hand.
It is a shit fight.
Is it weird that I'd be more excited about the Yokai Watch event coming back again than Moggle Mog Unreal?
You're just on drugs.
You know what? I didn't
So,
like.
I mean, we know the Yokai Watch event's coming back. We just don't know when, because they made new weapons for it.
Look, I didn't even like. I barely did the Yokai Watch event, and I'm still with you. I'd prefer that. I'd prefer to not do that again than
no.
have to.
No.
acknowledge
Yokai
the
Watch
existence
Unreal?
of Mogomog
Level
Unreal.
80 version of the Yokai Watch event, only Shadowbringer's
all on
Fates.
drugs.
Listen, that would be better, to be honest, if it was just Shadowbringer's Fates instead. But it wouldn't work, because they always want all those events to be low level.
That's true.
Before we wrap up, we did have some random quality of life stuff, and then before the Yoshida Plays section, you'll now be able to enter a party finder while already in a party. So if you ever had like you have a couple friends and you're like you want to join a party finder together, but you just have to be like, all right, join this one, and then maybe it like fills and you got to leave and start over and all that shit. No, that's it. Now it's literally like you and a few friends get in, you see like an open party finder, y'all join it, you just have the leader press join and it merges the parties essentially.
Where has this been all of our lives?
It's not a feature I would see much use for in particular, but it's a feature I damn well am glad is going to be in there.
Well, as someone who pugs pretty much a lot of fucking shit. Yeah. It is highly useful. For in-game content, for raid, for hell, I could see it for maps too.
Maps,
That
hunt.
shit
We've
gets
got
maps.
another thing in here that's actually, I don't think they really fully understand their own game systems, or they didn't tell us a very important detail about it.
I know where you're going.
Yeah, so one of the other things is you can now actually server hop while in a cross-world party. Which,
Good.
yes, that's good. But their reasoning doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
They list hunts as one of the big reasons. Hunts and hunt trains. So here's the thing. In map party, you can't do map parties in a cross-world party, for starters.
You cannot. Yes.
So if you can't use it to, like, you know, all go to a different world because you all go out. To be fair, it's not that much different to go to the world and form the party. But that could be the same said about the hunt. The hunt has the issue where if you're in a cross-world party, every individual person is not on the same enmity list. They're all on their own enmity list. So you're not... So, you know, the whole reason you join a hunt party is because it's easier to get full credit. If you're in a cross-world party, that's completely eliminated. Everyone's enmity and credit is their own. So unless they're changing that, which I made no mention of...
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't...
Then suddenly it's harder to get full credit.
Yeah, you would. So you just still wouldn't use the system for that reason. There's other reasons you could still use it, but you wouldn't use it for the reason they specifically mention. Unless they add the ability to convert from a cross-world party back into it, or they adjust the way hunts distribute their enmity.
Like, when they said that, I gave no shits about hunts. I'm like, I was kind of confused, but at the same time, it's like, okay, yay, maps. Woo.
Yeah. Even so much so that the hunt doesn't have a cross-world option on the party finder right now. Makes sense, because why would you need to have a cross-world option for something that exists in the open world on a specific server? But it's just weird that they use that as their topic when it has...
Prime example.
Yeah, it has no integration with cross-world parties at all. So, unless there's a deeper adjustment they didn't tell us, I would not use it for that function, and I hope people catch wind of that quickly.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of feedback being submitted on that.
Yeah.
Just use it for maps.
You can't even use it for that. You can't do maps in a cross-world. You can't do maps in a cross-world party. You have to be in a same world party for it.
You have to be in the same zone before you can dig the damn thing.
Yeah. But you can't be in a cross-world party for it. It does the same thing where it counts everyone individually. So again, if they're making adjustments to that, great, but they just made no mention of it. They're just their reasons is it just I don't know why they did it if it's for these reasons, because it doesn't help these reasons. People have other reasons for doing it. It'd be nice if it's just normal parties now, if like a cross-world and a normal party are the same thing. That's not what they said, but that would solve all the issues. If a normal party was just capable of jumping servers without becoming a cross-world party. That would be great. That would work perfect. That would literally solve every issue, if that's what they've done. So, that's another thing to add in there. New chapter for New Game Plus, that's A Realm Reborn. Now, this one's weird. They're adding exchange token vendors to all major cities.
Good.
Man, Limsa's going to get fucking packed on... It's already packed to the brim on Gilgamesh. I don't know about other servers, but it's gonna be the liveliest place in Gilgamesh. It already is, and it's going to be even more so if everyone has to go there. When they say tokens, do you think that includes Rowena tomestones or just like Primal EX tokens or all of it?
Oh, no. I think it's got to be tomestones. I mean, I think this is a really good idea because the Tomestone hub of every expansion has always been like super populated, and like pretty much everywhere else, with a few exceptions, you know, like Limsa, for instance, is kind of dead. And giving people... No, you don't think so?
No, sorry. My phone, I was telling it not to ring.
I think giving people the ability to like hang out in other places, like, you know, going and hanging out in Kugane as your, you know, AFK zone, and having everything you need there in that place, or, you know, any other city, I think would be fantastic.
I think it is. I'm concerned about the population in any of them causing issues if they don't instance them, which I think is honestly going to happen. I think they're going to have to instance some of the starting cities, depending on the server. I think the necessity of it on some... It's practically packed to the brim on Gilgamesh all the time now. if that's where everyone who needs to do their tombstone stuff has to go, and every new player in Lilimsa's starting zone has to go to as well. I mean, to be fair, it's at least split into two, the lower decks and the upper decks. If you put it in the upper decks, it actually might be fine. If you put it, if you look at the average population density of the halves of the starting cities, it's probably okay. That's the only other way around it I see. They can't put it in the lower decks.
It would make more sense in the lower decks, like be in the market there, but
it
no
also
reason they couldn't like.
Yeah, it also
put it
couldn't be. It couldn't be anywhere in the Gates of Nald, especially on Balmung. Because the quicksand is like the number one RP location, and there's literally over 100 people in that zone already as it is. So.
But the markets are in the other.
Yeah, I'm just saying
us.
it needs to be distanced from the more dense half of the city-state.
Yeah,
that's the number one thing they need to achieve here. Or if they do decide to put it there, it needs to be instanced. I think they should just make sure they put it in the less dense location. That's all I'm.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they handle that.
And exactly how many things you can go other, because I don't think it ends at tomes. I think it becomes like. I think it's going to be a lot more than just tome spending that happens there. It also means Crystarium should theoretically be getting one. It says all major cities, not city-states. So I'd assume any place that's a major hub, which would mean Rhalgr's Kugane. It would mean there's two hubs per expansion, essentially. Ishgard, another one. So that's worth pondering. Also, they're discussing removing old tome gear and just only selling upgraded tome gear.
Thank you. Oh my god, thank you. Like, having a run back and forth for that shit, particularly for like, the Ironworks stuff, having to run over the fucking North Shroud to upgrade shit.
Yeah. Take that Chocobo Porter, man.
Long overdue. Long overdue.
Not even keeping anything for like glamour purposes.
I mean, it's just dyed and undyed. The upgraded ones are just dyeable. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
There's no other difference between the two. That won't be in 5.3 though. This actually won't be in 5.3. But they said they're discussing it for the older tome gear. Idleshire they named as a specific. I don't know why they said it's most confusing in Idleshire. No, it's most confusing for a Realm Reborn where you have to go to the North Shroud.
Yeah, absolutely. It's relatively straightforward in Idleshire.
Yeah.
No.
So, and that was where they wrapped up the preview of part 1. They did a couple of announcements. They announced there's going to be like a bunch of sales. There's currently a free login campaign that's underway. The sales are a bunch of region-dependent areas. They teased that episode of the Creation of Shadowbringers bonus episode with Yorha and Yokotaro, where let's see, let's see if they have the quote here. Oh yes, I remember. I wrote something crazy, and they told me, "Oh yeah, you can't let the Warrior of Light do something like that." And I got yelled at by the Final Fantasy XIV team.
Good.
That's Yokotaro being told right there. And then Yoshi P showed off some of the merch they were going to have at their Primals concert they had to cancel in Tokyo.
I want that jacket so bad.
Yeah. And then he decided to do some 24-mans in-game minimum item level Crystal Tower raids, and they got stomped a bunch. They got through it, but it took a while.
There was one thing really, really interesting in there that he kind of let slip a little bit. When they were fighting Xande, he mentioned basically that they were planning on having like a sort of Crystal Tower ultimate. And that you'd be fighting the like the alliance, like sort of alliance ultimates where you'd be fighting the bosses in succession. Because Xande, like in the lore, is such like a huge threat. Like he and Amon and basically all of those like bosses involved in Crystal Tower in that whole raid series is supposed to be some of like the biggest threats in the history of Hydaelyn. And having them like relegated like that and not ever coming back to them is like so disappointing to me. So now I'm not going to be happy until we do finally get a fucking Xande ultimate. I think that would be phenomenal.
Yep, it says right here this guy has caused so much trouble in the world of Final Fantasy 14. Basically, everything's his fault. Which is not, it's not untrue. I mean, he was the whole proponent of the Allagan Empire that has led to so many of the plot points that we've focused on. They're just like, yeah, he's the last boss of the second raid tier. Have fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's directly responsible for at least 2 calamities.
Yep. That is correct. And honestly, in some ways, but he also allowed us the technology of the Crystal Tower allowed us to, save us from the 8th calamity. No. Okay, no redemption arc for my boy Xande here.
For Xande? You want a redemption arc for Xande?
Listen, Gaius can get one. Why not Xande, right?
No, fam.
Yeah.
Nope. Okay. Yeah, it says we did have talks about ultimates where you have to fight the Alliance raid bosses when we run out of other bosses. is the exact quote that I have here. But
See,
yeah,
that's a shame.
Yeah,
because I think he would make an awesome ultimate.
Yeah, it'd probably be pretty cool. And that was pretty much how they wrapped up. He just did the 24-mans and they went through I think they did World of Darkness not minimum item level because they were running out of time, but they did the first 2 minimum item level. But other than that, yeah, and then it's just a bunch of screenshots, bunch of talking. He went to some people's houses and checked them out, some hot springs, a bunch of stuff. But it was actually really chill. I wasn't paying too much attention, but as details came in, I'm like, that sounds dude, Yoshi P would be a great Let's Player. Let's do this. Be a great live streamer. When's the Final Fantasy 14 account getting partnered and getting all these Yoshi P emotes that he submits, and he just streams like 4 or 5 days a week? Come on.
He's got the time.
No, he doesn't.
He
really doesn't.
Does not have the time.
He can make the time. Listen,
that would be great though.
Yeah, I'm down.
He can do like an hour stream. He can do an hour stream.
He did. Yoshi P's toxic. He made the Blue Mage change their job because he didn't want them in the party. He's like, no, not you. And then
I reckon if you got him off script, I reckon he probably would be a pretty toxic streamer. Yeah.
Have you seen the way he responds to some of the Q&A at North America?
Yeah, he does not deal with people's shit, Like, if he was having to carry someone, he would, he'd find his way into Gordian jail for sure.
Wow, fam.
Yeah.
Yep. Yoshi P banned. Front page of Reddit. Can't wait for that. GM's
banned from 14 or banned from Twitch?
No, from 14.
Yes.
No, yes. How about that? We'll just answer yes. Both for being toxic.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
And then I can see the Arthur's background with him like, oh, Yoshi P, welcome. I'm glad to see you've seen the light.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's the dream right there. Okay. All right, and with that, we have finally wrapped up our Live Letter 58 overview. For shows in the coming weeks, we have some plans, but we expect a lot of TBGs, which is our alternative podcast where we just talk about games, that no doubt will be returning in full force in the coming weeks. But we do also have special community-related treats for people that Sly and I have been discussing behind the scenes. So keep an eye out. The talks get to start now, and then as any patch information pops up, we'll, of course, do impromptu shows for stuff like that. I swallowed my own spit there right at the end. That was terrible. Yeah,
you could keep that to yourself. Like,
I mean, I just coughed out of nowhere. It was terrible. That was an awful experience. Okay, so before we let these two fine gentlemen wrap up the show, thank you again for doing the 2 shows in such quick succession this week. Since we did one Sunday, and then we did another one today. Hey, that Sunday show, we can throw 30% of it out. Remember, that's my guesstimate. We can throw 30% of it out.
It was terrible timing. We'd done that just a day later.
Yeah, it's okay though. But another shout out to our sponsor, SteelSeries, we mentioned at the top of the show, 12% discount code, monthly giveaways. Thank you to them. Be sure to check that out in the description of the YouTube video. And also, our Patreon sponsors have been scrolling this way. That's right, this way in the top right. I don't like that you get to do this twice a week. And they've been supporting God damn it. And they've been supporting the channel, the podcasts, their names have been scrolling because of that. And thank you to them big time. We also have our patrons of darkness, Khuja Cross on Jenova and Kurenai Oni, who should not break the stream when I swap over. We've had a lot of technical difficulties with our broadcasting software in pre-show in this last week alone. That's Khuja Cross on Jenova. And then let me go over here. I'm so afraid always to move
There
things.
it is.
I'm always so afraid to move things when it comes to swapping it. And then we got Kurenai Oni over here. So thank you to both of them. Thank you to our patrons of darkness. Thank you to all of our patrons. Thank you to all of you who tune in every week, whether it be on YouTube, audio, or on Twitch. I do not thank Ethys for the Pog Champs, however.
Thank you so much, guys.
There you go.
You're
He's
awesome.
Completely out of control, and I don't know how to stop him. I can't, and he knows it, and that's the worst part, is being powerless. But thank you. It's been another long show this week, so let's sign off, and you can go to sleep, and Sly can get to whatever business he's got planned for the evening. So, Ethys, thanks for coming, and where can they find you at, my good son?
Yeah, guys, thank you for visiting my hot dog stand today.
I'm
I
so glad
appreciate that
you've
a lot.
kept that going this whole time, even if in bits.
I hope you enjoyed some real mustard, unlike that absolute filth you Yankees peddle. Some proper Dijon. You can find me, Ethys Asher, on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever. If you Google me, you can find some stuff that I've written for various outlets on gaming and pop culture, Star Trek stuff, most recently. What else? No, that's about it. I'm moving this week, moving an apartment, so yeah, streams have been a little bit few and far between this past week, but once we get settled in the next few days, we should be back on schedule and playing some XCOM Chimera Squad, some Gears Tactics, of course, some 14, and yeah, should be a good time. Should be really great. Oh, and May the 4th, International Star Wars Day, I'm going to be doing my yearly playthrough of Super Star Wars on the SNES, which is just hard as tits. God, that game is so difficult.
I've beaten that game before.
Yeah, me too. I beat it every year. It's great.
It's a great game, but it's horrible to beat.
Yeah, it's one of my absolute favorite SNES games, and I can just about speedrun it. So, yeah, we'll have fun for that. What about Sly?
Hi.
That rhymes.
You can shut up. You can find me at twitch.tv/Sly, aka Grey Fox. You can find me at Twitter at Sly the Fox. Yeah, right now I am playing the OG Waifu Wars, which is Sakura Wars, the new Sakura Wars, which is a soft reboot of the OG.
If it's Waifu Wars, is it a soft reboot or a hard reboot?
Can we mute this fucking clown?
It's the quarantine. I don't get human interaction. I'm sorry.
Terrible. Fucking terrible. But yeah, if you have never played a Sakura Wars game, it is okay. Again, it's a soft reboot. It is the most anime game ever, with like a lot of star power. You got people from people who did animation for Haruhi Suzumiya, Pokemon, what else? Soejima, who did designs on Persona. Yeah, it's just like Sega wasn't fucking around when they made this game. So if you're into dating sims and a little bit of Musou gameplay, it's definitely right up your alley. It's right up my alley. So
sounds like Persona 5 Scramble almost.
A little bit.
I don't know if Scramble has any relationship related stuff like the OG does. I don't think it does.
I hope not. But yeah, that's what I'm playing right now, and you can like see me playing that pretty much all week. Haps, what are you doing with your life?
Man, that is Goku as fuck.
Dude, speaking of Goku, I just played Kakarot DLC. It was not good. It was not good at all.
Damn!
It's literally just fight Whis. It's literally just fight Whis and Beerus until you gain 200 levels. That's literally the whole
Love for
DLC.
games, and then Happy's like, "Well, I played Kakarot's DLC. It is not good.
It sucked. It's literally just
shit.
fight Whis for until you can beat Beerus, and it's like just gain 200 levels, learn the Super Saiyan God transformation, do it as both Goku and Vegeta, and you're fucking done. It was awful. And the next one's
I'm
probably
so
just gonna be the
proud that
same
you can
thing.
admit that.
Yeah, I liked the original game. I liked Kakarot. You can find my opinions and whatnot at Mr. Happy 1227, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We are almost on 100%ing Trials of Mana. It's just a couple of New Game Plus replays. Solid remake. It's got some very SNES era writing and honestly SNES era voice acting, which sounds stupid, but trust me, you'll understand when you play it. We played the Kakarot DLC on Tuesday. That lasted an hour, and then I stopped. And right now we're doing a Realm Reborn restart ahead of the Realm Reborn revamp. I am replaying all of Realm Reborn, as I stated earlier.
Remake?
What?
A Realm Reborn remake.
No, it's a Realm remake. That's if we're gonna go for that route, you gotta go the whole way.
Yeah.
I am playing a DPS, not allowed to have help with a tank or a healer for a Q. Not allowed to use any EXP boosts that only have limited time availability, such as preferred worlds or pre-order bonuses that I may have accrued. So only the Helm of Light from level 1 to 10 and the brand new ring from 15 to 30. FC EXP buffs are allowed. That's about the greatest extent that it actually goes, plus rest of the EXP and whatnot. And we're doing all of 2.0 to 2.55, watching the cutscenes. When I say it out loud, I get more and more depressed every time. But it's actually been pretty chill the whole time. And that's going to be our project for the next little bit of time on top of some other stuff. We finished the caster versus on YouTube. Tank versus is next. We also have a hunt video coming, as well as melee versus coming as the finale to the Shadowbringer versus series. So that's what's going on in my realm. Also, Animal Crossing update on Friday. The May Day event starting on Friday. And I got a 6th golden rose today. I grew another hybrid red pansy to make these purple pansies. So I'm like, that flower game is on point as far as I'm concerned. Got that 5-star island, 3rd lily of the valley today. Digging it. But I'm all about that, man. I sold my turnips yesterday for $5.95 a turnip. It was great. One of Mel's friends had it. Made 2.295 million bells. It was fantastic. You should play it. You guys should play it.
No one cares, Mike.
You guys should play Animal Crossing.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Be good. Take care of yourselves. Be safe.
I'm leaving. Goodbye, everyone.
See you soon.